Yes, people, what is good? Welcome to the second stream of 2025, man. We're starting the year strong. And welcome to a new spin-off show from the Everything Lowry show. And if you didn't know, like, you know, I'm someone that likes my superhero content. Of course, you know, the Marvel DC train hasn't been the best over the past couple years, but it's looking like it's coming back. So you know what? I thought to myself, let's start a show. And not just a show where we're going to talk about, you know, just Marvel and DC. We're going to be talking about everything surrounding superhero stuff with TV shows and movies. But there's a difference with this show. I'm not doing this by myself. And I got my guy joining the stream for the first time. What we saying, real MOTP, man of the people. Welcome, bro.
Well, it's been like Arsenal's form at the moment, lacking, and we know what it needs, but nobody's fixing it. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to 2025. There's a lot of exciting stuff. There's a lot of announcements too. So, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm just gonna say you was muted for half of that.
Oh, mate,
I unmuted you. So.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
First
I'm cussing on my own team anyway.
Teething problems with the first show. I'm just making sure all the audio is good for the listeners.
Nice.
Yeah, we're all good, man. But before we start the show, I know this is a movie channel, yeah. But you know, I just gotta bring something to the stream. You get me?
No,
you get me?
I don't even watch English football.
The Arsenal. Wait,
I don't even watch English football. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Hey guys, this is a top gooner right here. He's a top gooner.
This is a setup, innit? This is a setup.
I don't know how we won yesterday. Well, I know how we won yesterday, but boy.
Yeah, because we got no strikers. I've been saying it for like weeks. We are prime smash and grab meat right now. Like, we miss, people get confident, and then they're like, you know what, we might be able to nick one. Accrington Stanley will beat us right now, bro. For real, like, we give teams confidence. We're charitable. That's it.
But look,
we're a good charity.
Like I said, this isn't a sports broadcast, this is movie and television, but I thought I'd just bring that, you know, just add a little bit of spice to the... You guys you'll be back, hopefully.
No, 2035, yeah. I'm not believing anything. I'm a skeptic. I'm watching Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton this year.
Yeah. I'm Team Ferrari this season as well. I'm Team Ferrari. But anyway, look, we've got a great show lined up for you guys. First half of the show, we're going to be talking about last year, 2024 superhero content. What went well, what didn't go well. So yeah, let's get into that first, man. Let me just switch rooms. with a press of the button. Wait, is it this one? There we go. All right. Boom. So last year there was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 superhero releases. And at the top end of the year was a Disney Plus series called Echo. Now, did you watch Echo?
Nope, didn't even bother.
Why did you not
I didn't
bother?
even-
What?
I don't know. I watched Hawkeye, and she was in Hawkeye,
Mm.
and I was like, okay, her character seems quite interesting. Cool, watch. That was the Holy Spirit that came out there. But then, like, I didn't care. And I think January, isn't that when Shogun came out as well? And I think there were a couple of other there were a couple of other big series that came out around it.
Yeah,
and
Shogun
I
was
was
end
like,
of Jan.
Yeah, so I think I just didn't care. I didn't bother watching it. I think, and by that point as well, I think we had She-Hulk and all those other things come out. Miss Marvel that had come out. Miss Marvel was okay, but
I like Miss
She-Hulk
Marvel.
kind of threw me off completely. And yeah, so by the time Echo came out, I just didn't care. I didn't care, and yeah.
Well, you know what? I didn't mind Echo. So, if for those of you who have never watched Echo or heard of this character, she's like what Marvel's in the MCU, not in the comic books, but in the MCU, she was like the first deaf super. She's not a superhero, but she's not a villain. She's kind of like an anti-hero, where she's not good or bad. She just does stuff for her own on her own accord. So
quite a tragic character, isn't she? In a way.
Yeah, tragic character. So it follows Maya Lopez, played by Alakko Cox, who is actually also an actor who is deaf. So I'm actually happy that Marvel went down that route and they just didn't get anyone. You know how sometimes these movies they'll get a someone person to play and the character that they need. They managed to find someone that fit the character type. But the reason why I was looking forward to the show is because we had Vincent D'Onofrio back as the Kingpin in this series.
Yeah.
And he's one of my favorite actors, and he's one of my favorite characters in the live action MCU. And I thought, you know what, with all that happened with Marvel during COVID and stuff, this was under their Marvel Spotlight feature, which is basically stories that loosely connect to the MCU, but it doesn't have it can still stand alone as its own thing. And I have always been for that. I think I mean, reading comic books as growing up, it wasn't always this multi-connected thing going on. You know, you had stories that were standalone that worked extremely well. And I think Marvel have done an incredible job of it's almost 20 years, coming up to 20 years. No, plus 15 years, something like 30 something productions under the MCU where they've managed to connect every single thing. But there will be a time period in which you don't.
It's going to be a lull. It's going to be. I think it's expected, though, isn't it? I think after Endgame.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think you can downplay the effect of COVID on the writing, the writers' strikes, all of those things.
Bro,
you can't downplay those things. So yeah, I mean, this was the year we should have been concluding the next sort of big Avengers saga. Would have been around this year and something. So yeah, but I probably will watch it.
Yeah.
At some point, but yeah, I just feel like this was a period, where I was just like not off Marvel completely, but I just didn't care about
a lot of people
coming out. Yeah. I think She-Hulk was one of those ones that literally it pissed me off so much, and
I wasn't a big fan of She-Hulk either. That whole meta ending and the whole guys. Spoiler, by the way, sorry, I forgot to say spoiler warning. What's good, Emmanuel? Oh, Emmanuel's in the chat, by the way. Well, go on.
What's going
on? What's it? Yeah, the whole She-Hulk robot ending AI nonsense. I just didn't like it, man. I was just, and you know what it is? A lot of people online were commenting about the She-Hulk character and the whole twerking thing and stuff like that. Bro, like that to me, I don't care about that type of stuff. It was just the show. The writing was so poor. it was,
Do you know?
and
I think this is
She-Hulk is
it.
a wicked character as well. It's not like she's a rubbish
That's
character.
the thing. That is the thing. I love She-Hulk as a character. I was really excited. And you know what? The twerking thing, it is what it is. But I think it pissed people off a lot because of the writing around it.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you know
just
what I mean?
poor.
It's like you didn't
It was
focus
poor.
on writing a decent story, but hey, you threw in She-Hulk twerking. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like
Was it with
I
Meg the
can't say
Stallion,
I'm a
wasn't
good.
it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
you can't tell me I'm a serious author and I'm not concentrating on writing a good story. But hey, you know, I've got freaking what's it, Daredevil cramping or something like with Tony Stark. Like, great, fantastic, you
Yeah.
had fun. Where's the rest of my damn story? Do you know what I mean? And I actually felt quite insulted, to be honest. Like,
I
the
think a lot
disrespect
of
towards the
Marvel,
Hulk in that
bro,
show.
they did the Hulk dirty.
Do you know what I mean?
But they've been treating Hulk like I think since the who owns it still? It's Universal that still owns Hulk, right? Like apparently Disney can't do a solo Hulk film because I think one of them, Universal, Paramount, own the solo rights. That's why every
It
Hulk
might
film.
be. I think it's Universal. If I
That's
remember
why
the opening
every
credits, yeah.
film with Hulk has to have Thor or someone with him. But we've been wanting a solo Hulk film for years. And, a She-Hulk series, we're thinking, finally, all right, cool. It's not a Hulk solo show, but
Well, we're
gonna get some Bruce Banner. Bro, they've made him like some dweeb.
for real. But it's
But
that dweeb stuff started from Thor Ragnarok, I feel. But Thor
I like
Ragnarok
Thor Ragnarok
executed
though.
it properly. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. But it was perfect for that film. It's a guy that's just woken up
Mm.
from like how many years trapped inside a body and now he's on a different planet. Dude's not even been in space. Do you know what I mean? Now he's on a whole other planet. So that makes sense. He doesn't understand what's going on. But you're back on Earth and now you're being outmuscled and outgunned in every department
Yeah.
by someone that's been here for 2 minutes, who on top of that is saying, despite the fact that you've lost the love of your life, despite the fact that the other love of your life, her daddy wanted to end you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you almost lost your arm, you brought back half the universe, you sacrificed a lot, you lost friends. Like,
got no thanks.
Yeah. Instead, she's saying, "Oh yeah, I get catcalled on the street, and sometimes men talk down to me. So you don't have it as hard as I do." And I get that in the office, but that's not going to make me empathize with the message you're trying to put across. Because in the context of that universe, this guy put his life on the line on so many occasions, and you're mad because some idiot has walked across the street and he's like, "You're paying." Come on, man. Nah, that's not writing. And now you're twerking on top of that. I have to come back to that. Scare me mad. It's bringing back these feelings, bro.
But look, we're getting to 2023, so we got to stick to 2024. But yeah, with Echo, it was what five episodes. Started off really well in my opinion. I like the whole mystique about the character. There was also the Native American roots with her character and how that linked. But I thought that was a nice edge to the TV show. They did change quite a few things from her comic book power set. I'm not going to ruin it in case you watch it. And not a few, but quite a lot of people online were not happy. I did an interview with the director of Echo, and she explained why she did that. And if you read the comments, bro, like they were not happy. But then, like many Marvel TV shows, the MCU TV shows, kind of fizzled out, and it just became a bit. Again, like you mentioned, I didn't really empathize with a lot of things.
I think it was oversaturated as well. I think.
Yeah,
because,
I think
like if you add in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, for example, that could have been a movie.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what I mean? It's like the Echoes and WandaVision, like the Echoes, Loki, maybe those could have been TV shows, and the others probably could have been movies because we're used to them being in movies. So that kind of took the attention away from a show like Echo, because it's we got another TV show like WandaVision, Loki are the best ones, I think.
I agree.
TV universe.
I agree.
And the other ones just didn't live up to it. So by the time we got to Echo, you had Miss Marvel, which I think kind of is a split decision there.
Moon Knight as well.
It is.
That's
I even forgot about that. Jeez.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So there's so many. By the time we get to Echo, people are wondering, okay, where's Daredevil? Born Again? Where's Blade? You know, the big ones that they announced.
Yeah.
We're getting Echo. We're getting, you know, Hawkeye, which was a Christmas show. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's
I think
really hard.
I think what Marvel did wrong, and again, this was clearly a money grab situation. And again, look, we know we work in the cinema industry. We watch films daily. We understand it's a business at the end of the day.
exactly.
It has to make money. But what Marvel did is that they got too greedy, because we went from getting 3 films, one or two extra things on the side, to like 8 television series, 5 movies. So the whole anticipating a Marvel release went away in like a year and a half, because I remember when Age of Ultron, didn't like the film, but at the end of that we saw Thanos. He finally got the
That made me
Infinity
watch the film
Gauntlet.
again.
Yeah. And by the way, a lot of stuff in that film has aged very well. I think what Marvel have done, I know we keep sidetracking people. What Marvel have done well is that they have tied a few loose ends very well. They've made, like, I think that first, the Captain America film has aged masterfully. Like, I did not like that. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't one of my favorites.
I thought it was dead.
But if you circle back all the things now, boy, they've done extremely well. But yeah, so I think the whole novelty wore off of Marvel and stuff, and yeah, Echo was unfortunately the first television series of last year that got, you know, the brute force of everyone's frustration from the previous year. So that started the top end.
Before you could rest,
Yeah,
you know, look forward to like, okay, we've got, you know, it was literally 2 movies a year, and then it became 3 movies. But even then, it was like, okay, I'm excited. But then between now and the movies, you have a TV show. It's like you can't even.
I knew the Marvel grip on the industry had loosened, because I weren't seeing any leaks online. And when I stopped, when I didn't see any, because I remember when Doctor Strange, before that came out, we saw Charles Xavier like a year before the release of that film. That was one of the most anticipated films, multiverse. But going forward, past that, bro, people couldn't care about leaks, and now we're starting to see leaks coming back again. So I'm like, all right, we're back. Marvel are back.
In fact, speaking of leaks, and just before I move on to that, there is, I think, again, this is probably where we look at the COVID situation in those couple of years where things got slowed down. I think they rushed a lot of things out, which obviously shortened the gaps between them, which, you know, you can see with Black Panther 2. Like, they really should have waited, taken their time, rewrote it, been patient, and figured it out. Because, you know, the film, I've watched it again. It's not as bad as I initially thought, but you can see they panicked. They didn't know what to do and stuff. And I think that's a consequence of a lot of projects and why they're suffering so much now, because they shortened the gap. They didn't want to, they hardballed the release dates and everything as well, I think. So
I've actually had the reverse with Black Panther. First of all, it's a beautiful film. It's an incredible. I mean, what Ryan Coogler had to do with that situation of the GOAT Chadwick Boseman. I mean, any director would have had a difficult task in handling that situation. So, I think they still did the right thing, and I think we will touch on a few things about Black Panther, because there was some stuff last week. But I definitely feel that aside from going into the film knowing that it was a send-off for Chadwick, I think if I take that out, you're right. I don't think there is much to that film. I think Namor was cool. The whole Wakanda underwater battle was cool and stuff. But again, we were expecting the storyline and the narrative to propel to another level. But then we do have to say, you know, Wakanda was supposed to be, I mean, with the leaks that have come out towards the end of last year, Wakanda was supposed to be the central point to a lot of the narrative for the MCU with Kang and all that stuff going forward. And Black Panther was one of the leaders. You know, he was going to be the Illuminati. There's going to be different variants of him, all that type of stuff. So again, I think Marvel did the best they could do in that situation. I just hope with the next Black Panther film, the levels rise again.
The whole story.
Yeah, I know, bro. But yeah,
I love him, but he's staying a lot. But I think Riri Williams was a mistake in there. They should have had her as this kid that's done this thing. Let's save her. we didn't need to see her. I think it was half an hour too long as well. But
We're going to
yeah,
touch on Ironheart later. But yeah, so that was
yeah.
Echo, top end of last year. Not everyone's favorite. I didn't hate it. There were definitely worse productions released last year. But we're getting to quite possibly one of the worst films I've ever seen. And I watched this film on a flight on my holiday in like September. So I didn't even watch this film. And guys, we're talking about Madam Web, which released in February last year. Now, I didn't watch this film when it first came out because one, I asked Sony for, you asked them, hey, are there any upcoming screenings for the film, blah, 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 blah. They were like, nah. So that's alarm bells, first of all. They were like,
they're not doing any
there weren't no
screenings.
screenings. There were no press screenings that I knew of. Or I think the press screening was the day before. And I've always said, if you guys follow me on my socials and stuff, whenever there's a film screening, and this is for press to review the film, whenever there's a film screening the night before, it's one of two things. It's either they're trying to stop leaks. They did it with Infinity War. They did it with the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is it Far From Home? No Way Home?
No Way Home.
No Way Home. I went to that, but that was literally like 2 days before release. So you didn't have. So they do damage control to stop leaks. But the other justification for it is that the film's not good. And so when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm not far. And to be honest, I didn't really care about the whole Sony Spider-Verse. I didn't care. I lost interest in it. And yeah. So I watched this on the flight to kill some time. An hour and 56 minutes, and it made my flight longer, bro. I think it added 2 hours to my flight. Have you watched this film?
Dude, when I saw the trailer, I thought it was fan made. I didn't believe it. I'm not even lying to you, bro. I thought it was like you know, like you got those people that make those trailers for a minute, like, wait, I've seen that shot before. I was watching it, I was like, this can't be real, bro. Like, I'm feeling like they grabbed Sydney Sweeney, all these people, just threw them in to make it. But then I found out it was real. And I was just like, hey, no. Like, I've got to a point, I think this was when I was paying for cinema tickets as well. I got to a point where I'm like, if I'm not paying to watch certain things because it's Marvel anymore. That's what they got me. That's how down bad they had me, bro. And Sony, on top of that, nah, Madam Web. I think my missus might have watched it. I don't know. She can't even hear me. I think she might watch it. She doesn't even care for superhero movies. She probably, saw a couple of the actresses for, oh, these guys are interesting. Yeah, nah. I'm honestly, I'm not even saying it to be flagrant. I thought the trailer was a fan-made trailer. I thought it was fake. I thought it was absolutely fake. I did not believe what I was watching.
Bro. So for anyone who doesn't know, Madam Web, aka Cassandra Webb, she gains these like clairvoyant abilities where she can not predict, but she sees the future on the web of, I can't remember what they call it, the web of the tree or something silly like that. Now, she's most famous in the animated Spider-Man series, the OG, the GOAT one from the early was it 90s or 2000s? It was 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Let's see.
Was it the ones that you see on BBC?
Nah, the one on Fox, the one on Fox Kids.
Oh yeah, Mum didn't have that for a while. Still, I had to watch X-Men and Spider-Man on BBC.
94. Yes, it was on Jetix, Fox Kids. Bro, if you ever get to revisit, I think they've put this on Disney Plus. One of the best superhero TV shows, man. Goated. A lot of cereal and tea eaten with this TV show on a Saturday morning. But she has a storyline in this in the animated series. So there was a part of me saying, you know what? It may not be like outstanding, but it might be, it might touch on things that I've seen when I was from, being a young kid watching the animated series. That sounded wild, by the way. But
I didn't even clock. Jesus, the Weezus.
Well, we got Let's rewind that. But yeah, so I was thinking, you know what, Madam Web might be able to redeem the Sony Spider-Verse, but it didn't. It's one of the worst films I've seen. Like you mentioned, it had, was it Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson, Isabel Mercedes. They had
I love Sydney. I love Sydney.
who else? Mike Epps was in it. You got Celeste O'Connor. It was just an all-round bad film. And I'm someone that I don't like to, you know, there's a lot of time and effort, creative people. It's people's jobs at the end of the day, making TV shows and films. So I try my best in public spaces, like when I do my reviews or I'm on radio or something like that. I don't diss things to the level that sometimes that they should be dissed. But this, like, you know how you said She-Hulk was an insult?
Yeah.
This film is one of the biggest insults to Patreons that go to the cinema.
It's on Netflix now in the Netherlands. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I'm refusing to watch it out of like principle. I'm not. None of my money that goes towards Netflix each month is going towards that.
You have to watch it. We spoke about it.
Yeah, I'm going to illegally stream it though. None of my money that goes towards Netflix is going towards this film. I'm illegally streaming it. I don't care because bro, this is a trailer from Sony, and I'm watching it like this is a fan-made thing. Like,
bro,
that's
it's a bad, like, the dialogue's poor, the acting is poor. I want to say I think Dakota Johnson thought she was joining the MCU, like she didn't know of the Sony Spider-Verse. The storyline made no sense. The villain was awful. It was just all around just poor.
I thought Morbius was bad.
Bro, this is worse than Morbius.
Oh my god.
This is worse than Morbius. This is
I'm gonna watch it. And we're gonna talk about it.
This is worse than Morbius. But yeah, so we had Madam Web last year. I do not recommend watching it, but I need real M to watch it, just, you know, to go through the pain that I went through. So that released in February. But then, you know, the Marvel world redeemed itself. And this was at the time where you mentioned Shogun had come out. And, you know, we're falling out of love.
Free Body Problem came out in March as well.
Yeah, we're falling out of love with the superhero content. I think we just had notification about, what's his name? Jonathan Majors getting kicked out of Marvel. So it was just doom and gloom. But then Marvel pulled a rabbit out the hat, and that is X-Men 97. Now, when this was first announced, I was extremely skeptical about this TV show because whilst I love and I adore the OG kids television show that was on TV in the late 90s to the, I think, early 2000s, I was like, I don't see how this show fits in with the Marvel universe now. It doesn't make any sense. But then, as we mentioned, Echo was kind of like a standalone TV show that doesn't directly connect to the universe, but it's still Marvel. I was like, okay, this, you know, this could potentially work. Bro, one of the best TV shows of last year. Like, outstanding. Wow. Did you watch it?
Bro, thank you for putting me on this, bro. Because it was there. And I remember I was coming towards the end of my PGCE. I was going to start watching it, but I had too much work to do. So I went on the back burner. And then I started watching it once I'd moved to the Netherlands. And at first, it was just in the background. You know, sometimes you have a show you put on the background as you're working and stuff. But my head kept on, like, I'm typing and my head keeps doing this. Okay, I need to lock in because this is fire. Magneto.
Bro.
Oh my God. He was epic in this. I loved every time he was on screen. I'm like, everyone shut up. Let him talk, bruv. Because he's talking facts here. I loved him. I loved him so much. Like, this show is, it's probably my favorite Marvel show to date, possibly, you know, along with What If, actually.
I need to watch the last season of What If. I kind of fell out of love with it. But yeah, Marvel did a phenomenal job with X-Men 97. Season 2's already been done, and season 3. Unfortunately, Bao DeMayo, who was the head creator on that show, he got kicked out of Disney. We don't know why. Apparently, it was something to do with his OnlyFans getting leaked or something like that. Again, this is all rumors, but this is what was on Twitter. Good, like this was like last year. I didn't believe any of it, until Disney come out and say why it's happened. But apparently, no one said anything. He's been very vocal as to why he thinks Marvel did it, kicked him off. But I'd recommend you guys to go to his Twitter page and read the notes. But yeah, and I think he was on Black Panther, but yeah, he just got kicked off a lot of stuff. But he worked his ass off with this show, and I think season 2 not having him on it, I don't know, man.
I hope it doesn't hinder them. Is it going to be X-Men 98 then, or
I don't know. It's probably going to continue the Apocalypse storyline with the Four Horsemen. So it's probably still going to be in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I love the animation style, the voice acting, the story. The Tolerance is Extinction episode. And what was the other one? Remember It with Gambit.
Yeah.
2 of the best episodes you'll see on TV last year.
Yeah.
Like, and there's again, my whole X-Men lore only goes to a certain level. So I was finding out a lot of stuff fresh. And it brought back that early Marvel feeling of when people would discuss stuff after it came out, rather than bashing it and saying this is rubbish. People like, they got the whole Wolverine getting his adamantium ripped out of him perfectly done, and they put the comic book and the screenshot from the TV series. There was a lot of stuff. I think the first episode with Cyclops, to me, my ex, and obviously Cyclops has always been he's always been marketed as like kind of like a sideman in the live action films. Wolverine was always the head honcho, but in the comics, Cyclops is the leader of X-Men. Like, he's a boss man.
Well,
and I
is
like
it not
that
in Avengers versus X-Men where he just turns into an absolute, like, he gets the Phoenix Force and everything, and he's just
so that's why he kind of got redeemed in this show, and people's perception of him changed. I thought the intro, to me, my X-Men, and using his laser to jump out, he ain't got no flight ability, but he was still able to he was still able to land.
You know what you gotta do in these streets, bro.
Exactly. But X-Men 97, phenomenal TV show. If you haven't watched it, even if you're not into animation, even if you think this is a kids TV show, it's far from it, man. It's all around great TV show.
The story works.
So then we're going to take it to another animated show, and this has been a recent favorite of mine. And I think Prime Video for the past, I'd say 4 or 5 years, have been probably the go-to for superhero content. And in March, they released Invincible Part 2, Season 2, Part 2. Now, have you watched Invincible?
Yes.
Now, I wasn't happy how they released Season 2.
Yeah,
first of all,
about that.
You don't spread 8 episodes over, 5 months. Like, if you're going to do that, I need at least 12 episodes minimum.
Or make the episodes an hour long.
Or make the episodes longer.
Yeah.
But even with that said, I think when you watch the whole Part 1 and Part 2 in totality, I still think it's another brilliant animated show, brilliant superhero show. And what I love is, we have the Marvel, some DC animation is adult, but most of it is kid friendly. But with this, they just went straight gutter with it, bro. Like Stephen Yeun, J.K. Simmons, Sandra Oh. Who else is in this? You got Zazie Beetz.
Jason Mantzoukas, that's my kid.
Yeah.
He's just so good at playing crazy people, like just unhinged, horrible people.
And
that's it.
That first episode of Invincible, where Omni-Man, you think he's the good guy, and he absolutely kills all of his team. I was like, that was like a Game of Thrones Red Wedding moment for me.
Mm.
I was like, wait, what are we watching here?
Do you
What
know
is
what?
going on?
Actually putting that out there, that to me is actually, that ending is similar to that first episode of Game of Thrones when Jamie and Cersei push.
Oh
What's
yeah,
his
yeah,
name?
out of the
When they push him
yeah,
out the
yeah,
window. Because at first,
yeah,
like, it was my sister's friend that told me, "Yo, watch this." Da 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 da. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me watch the first episode. We watched it together. I'm thinking, all right,
yeah.
some medieval stuff. They all got horses. It's lovely. All right. And then, oh, aren't they brother and sister? Oh, oh, wait, hang on. They pushed the kid out the window. And I'm
Yeah,
like, next episode now. And that first episode of Invincible got me that excited the same way.
bro. It's
Yeah, such a good show.
and so yeah, so part 2 came out, continuing the storyline from season 1, where Omni-Man is now somewhere where we don't know. You've got Stephen Yeun's character, Mark Grayson, trying to find his feet and becoming a superhero. And then you had new characters.
Mm.
They started implementing the whole multiverse stuff that was quite new to people who are not familiar with an Invincible. I think that's one of the things that kind of was a negative to people outside of this that of the know, because I think we've been multiverse to death, and I think if you don't do it to the level of like an Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I hold as probably
I
the
still need to watch
greatest
this actually.
multiverse film. I know you've got Back to the Future, but I think that film surpasses that. I think people were kind of like multiverse to death at that time with Invincible, so there was a bit of that in the background.
Side note, would Inception count as a multiverse film?
Oh,
Is it, like, after saying that, like, it just hit me. Like,
technically no,
because
but technically yes.
do you know what I mean? It's a weird one, isn't it? I was literally just thinking about it.
I need
As
to
you
have a
said
think
that,
about
I'm
that.
like, wait, yeah, we need to revisit this one day.
But you need to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. One of the best films of all time. But yeah, so this release, Invincible Part 2, it was 4 episodes. And you know what? I thought they wrapped it up nicely, and I forgot, we had to wait like what, 2.5 years for season 2 from season 1?
This was my big frustration. It's like,
that was
I've
it.
waited 2.5 years.
Yeah.
You know,
And you
I've
give
been
me 8
excited.
episodes.
I love the show. And you give me, what was it, 3 or 4 episodes they gave us?
It was 4 episodes, part 1, and then we had to wait like 2 months later. Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. Like, I'd rather you just delay it and give me everything at once.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a consequence of binge watching stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, give me. But at the same time, 2.5 years. And this, do you know what? This is a theme with series now that I'm clocking. And it's really frustrated me. Actually, we've gone now from 12, 13 episode seasons on the Netflix.
Bro, and Netflix. I'm saying prior to Netflix, we used to have 20 episodes. Remember?
Yeah, 20 episodes.
Lost and Sopranos, The Wire.
True, real talk.
Bro,
but like, we've gone from those coming out every year to now it was 10, a year and a half. Now it's like 8, 2 years, and then it's going to be 6, 3 years. Like, what's going on? Like, there's writer strikes and all of that. I get it, but because, and the worst thing is, some of these things come out and the CGI is bad, or like it's just not, the quality is not there. It's like, what took you so long to make this? I could have done this in my kitchen. You know, obviously,
it's one of two things. I think one, TV shows have now gotten to so expensive they cost as much as a feature film to make.
Yeah, that's true.
And two, the streaming market is just too fragmented. There's too many streaming platforms. So the aim of the game, like being on YouTube, being on TikTok, is they want you to be on their platform for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So if you know Invincible, I'm a big fan, I'm gonna watch it regardless. If they're gonna keep you on for, rather than having you binge it all in, a month, they can say we had X amount of people over 3 months, but we split it into 1 part and 2 part. I think for some TV shows it works well. So I think for Squid Game season 2, I think that ended on a cliffhanger, and I think people are anticipating season 3 now, and they're willing to wait. But it's a short wait. It's only 6 months. But I think when you do stuff when it's like 2-year gap, I've forgotten what happened. I'm not going to be bothered to watch rewatch. Not saying that, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood to rewatch what happened in season 1 or the previous season. So I think to your point, I think it depends on the style of show. They've had it with Severance. I think Severance is like almost 3 years, and season 2 is releasing this Friday. One of my favorite TV shows, but again, it's like we shouldn't be for 8 episodes. We should not be waiting this long.
Yeah, but wasn't there that other one, Us, on Amazon?
Yeah, there was Us.
Yeah, and that came out.
No, was it them? No, was it them? With Bashi,
the Black family. Yes, and it's like, yeah, I think it's them. Yeah, Us is the Brian. Well, the movie with Peter Youngo.
Jordan Peele.
That pissed me off. I hated that shit. So excuse my language. The ending killed me. Still pissing me off now. But yeah, them. I forgot. I saw the trailer for them, and I was like, "Oh, this looks interesting." And then I was like, "Wait, what? Hang on." I watched the first season, but it was so long ago, I couldn't even connect the dots. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a risk because now, okay, people could see it as novelty or great, or they can be like, I've completely forgotten. But maybe it's a trick, like you said, to get people on there, because some people might actually watch the whole of season 1 again, and then in order to watch season 2 and make sure that they're in the know. And maybe it's a way of getting people on their platform longer during that period as well. But
bro, you've got to remember, these guys have to go to investors and say, we had X amount of million people in 2024, and we're predicted to have X amount in 2025. So if you can say, I've got season 3 of Squid Game, which I reckon they're going to split into 2 parts as well. To an investor, it's like, all right, cool, we're guaranteed to have 20 million. Or I think, Squid Game had 126 million people watch it. So it was one of them ones where I understand from a business point why they do it, but from a consumer point, it's annoying. We've got some people in the chat as well. Bless up everyone. Worse than Black Adam. I think they're referring to Madam Web. And yes, Madam Web is definitely worse than Black Adam. Writer's Strike definitely played a big role into a lot of content moving from last year to this year. Hollywood was practically nothing was getting done. And we're going to see a saturation this year and next year. And bro, 2028 is going to be crazy because Pinewood Studios, you can't even book a space in Pinewood Studios to shoot a film.
Serious?
Yeah.
Damn. Why did they let me go, man? Jesus.
So 2028 is going to be an absolute madness when it comes to film and TV.
Well, there might be some more delays with the LA fires and stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I just saw that the Oscar nominations, and anyone who's based in America as well, we're just going to send our thoughts and prayers as well for what's happening out in LA, because that is some crazy stuff, man.
My sister's out there at the moment as well with her husband and kid.
Well, I hope she's.
Yeah. No, they're nowhere near it. They said it's proper smoky where they are, but like.
Yeah.
She didn't answer her phone for like 3 hours. I was gonna fly out there or something.
Yeah. I just hope it. Apparently, they're saying Wednesday they expect the winds to die down enough so they can get helicopters and start. But that whole situation's a madness. But we'll talk about that another time. But do you think AI will play a part in these productions? Yes, I think AI has been used for many, many years, and I think now it's just out in the open. Now, I think with AI, I'm not against it if it's helping you speed up processes. What I'm against is using AI to create art. I think a computer will never be able to gain an emotion or write a perspective of life that a human can. And that's what all these stories are, whether it's sci-fi, superhero, period piece, anything like that.
It's a tool at the end of the day, I think. And and that's what it is. It's a tool, and that's how it should remain. But we know.
Yeah, these guys are. I mean, that Space Jam with LeBron James was an AI film. They had it right. They had an AI in the film, basically say what they're doing. Half of these Netflix shows are AI. They basically say, let's get The Rock, let's get Kevin Hart, let's put them in this type of film, let's write the script, and then they go and act it out. I think I'm gonna go. I think 60-70% of Hollywood is AI.
Do you know what's so funny with what you're saying? You know, when I was in film school before I started Red, we had to do like this business module, and I literally had this idea for like an algorithm or something that assesses how much an actor is valued and how much they bring on average to each film they're in.
Mm.
And when you're writing your package, producers, studios could look at that, and you know, from a pure business perspective, look at, all right, Leonardo DiCaprio on average brings in an extra 30 million per movie,
Mm.
you know, and Brad Pitt brings in an extra 35 million per movie. So on average, maybe together they bring in X amount.
Yeah,
All right, let's package it this way. Do you know what I mean? But I was like, that's the devil's work, because, oh, excuse me, I love films way more than that. But also, I'm not smart enough to make the code, and that's probably the reason why I didn't do it in the end. Yeah, I'll be real. It's because I didn't know how to make the code. But yeah, man, it's yeah.
They're saying in chat, but what was the reason for that? So yeah, the writer's strike partly was to do with AI. It was also partly to do with the royalties. So for streamers, for example, if you were someone that was used to getting, this is just a number out of a hat, this isn't definite, $400 a week or £500 a week for writing a show that you had years ago, because the writers of these shows, that's what they rely on, a weekly reoccurrence of money for every time. Like for Friends, for example, every time an episode is aired, the writers get paid. But for streaming TV shows, apparently it's just a one-off payment. But yet Netflix can come out and say, yo, we had 200 million people watch our show. So as a writer, you're gonna be thinking, hang on a minute, whoa, where's my payment? You just paid me 20 grand, but yeah, you just had 200 million people watch the show. I need more. So the writers got fed up. Yeah, no residual payments, all of that type of stuff. Then you have AI. Like I said, I think 60-70% of Hollywood is AI. And these guys get paid peanuts.
And some of the way the storylines go, you know, you see, it's hard to argue against it, really, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But I'm glad everyone stood their ground, even though, you know, I work in the film industry and it hurt. It definitely hurt. But you know, people got to get paid, man. At the end of the day, man, the companies got too greedy, and look what happened, man. So but yeah, I will bring it back to the topics of the show. So we're just talking about, if you're new here, I see we've got quite a few people in here, man. Welcome, and appreciate the comments in there. Don't forget to like the stream. I've got my guy, Man of the People, Real M. His socials are in the description. Follow him. He reviews content. He loves film, TV shows. He's an Arsenal fan, so he's upset today. But he's a good guy, man. So if you guys are, make sure you go give him a follow on every social platform. But we'll plug it at the end of the show as well again.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So after Invincible, is keeping it on Amazon Prime. Like I said, they've been killing it when it comes to superhero content, and they released season 4 of The Boys, which is probably one of the most controversial seasons they've released. It's fitting with the political climate that we're in at the moment, and I think they hit the nail on the head. Another banger from Amazon Prime. I'm gonna say is probably my favorite season out of all the Boys seasons, and it's very rare for a TV show to get better and better. Normally you have season 1 is epic, then season 2 is a good follow on, and then you get season 3 where it's that they try to do something different and it just doesn't pull off. But The Boys, just every season just gets better and better, and the scope of it gets bigger, the performances get better, the character development gets better. And
it was, I think, like you said, it's got better and better. I think since the last 2 seasons I enjoyed, but not as much as the first one. Gen V excited me. quite a bit.
Gen
Did that
V
come
did
out
what
last?
it needed to do. Gen V did
Yeah,
it introduced characters that are going to be pivotal closing
yeah,
out the boys, because as we know, the boys is ending with season 5. So
yeah.
the series that they're going to start, I think they're filming it later on this year.
Mm,
So you're looking at a 2026, maybe top end 27 release. That's
yeah.
when the boys finishes. There are other spin-offs. You got the boys, I think Mexico. You got a Soldier Boy, and what's her name? Forgot her name. They got a spin-off.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
And
That's
then
going to be
they've
really
got Gen
interesting.
V season 2. So we've
Yeah.
got a lot of content, and I've always been a fan of TV shows that know when to finish. We've seen it with Succession. We've seen it with what else is it? The Night of. Like, there's a few TV shows that know when to end.
I
When you
recently
get
watched Lost in Space.
that was
Finally.
the Netflix one, right?
Yeah, and it finished season 3, and it's season 2 dragged. Season 3, I could feel like they were coming to an end,
There's an
and it was
art
like
in
nice. Yeah, just
There's an
end it.
art in
After
knowing when
3
to end.
seasons, it's fine. Yeah, 3
That-
seasons for me, it's a very good amount to tell a complete story. I think.
Again, Hollywood gets greedy because they see the performance of Game of Thrones, and everyone
Yeah,
wants a 10-year. Everyone would love to have a 10-year span,
yeah.
but unfortunately, as we saw with Game of Thrones,
You need your source material.
one, you need your source material, and two, you need to know when you're finishing your story. You can't just be aimlessly writing stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that The Boys is finishing. I'm sad because I love the show, but I'm happy saying, all right, cool. There's an end goal now, so we're gonna get there. But yeah, man, I mean, Anthony Starr, who's on screen right now, his performance as Homelander has to win awards this year
Yeah.
because he's incredible.
He
And
is. I can't
he's
look at that
absolutely
man
incredible.
without, thinking I want to punch you up, even though I know you're not the character, like, but you're actually the worst person on the planet.
Bro,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
he is outstanding, and the way he plays Homelander, I don't think anyone else can play Homelander. And it's not his. I mean, his performance, dialogue wise and acting wise, is great, but it's the small, intricate little eye twitch, his mouth movement, the scene,
even the way he moves his neck sometimes, like,
the scene where he's just in the cinema and he's just pissed and he ain't listening to what's going on. He's just hearing a ringing in his ear because he's just fuming. It's the little intricate things that elevate his character to the next level. And he has to win awards this year. He has to. And I know the industry, shuns itself at superhero content, but
that's
enough's enough.
do you know what the thing is
Enough's
though?
enough
Like,
now.
superhero content kept Hollywood alive
Bro,
for a
Marvel were
decade.
bringing in billions. If it weren't
Do you know
for
what I mean?
Marvel, streaming would have taken over a long time ago.
Exactly.
And they're lucky right now. Marvel don't say, you know what, let's just put all our films on Disney Plus, because it would fit. In terms of the financial rewards, I think cinema will still be there, but not at the scale that it is now. Because there's still bangers, but smaller independent films or smaller budget films. But yeah, back to The Boys. I mean, what are your thoughts? What were your thoughts on season 4?
I mean, season 4, yeah, like I said, Gen V got me excited again, and season 4 of The Boys came at such a perfect time for me. I could sit down, I could watch it, I can enjoy it. And honestly, dude, like, I'm trying to remember it because I've watched so much since then as well.
We've got spoilers in this chat, by the way, guys. So if you've not watched it,
cover your ears, because that ending, the way it ended, my mouth was on the floor. My mouth was on the floor. I fancied. What is the headphones on? This is I fancied her. I can't even remember her name now. Senator. What was her name again? How can I say I fancied? I can't remember her name.
Are you talking about Starlight or who are you talking about?
No, Starlight. No.
Oh, Victoria Newman.
Yes, I fancied Victoria Newman, man. How can you do
even though she can blow your head off?
That makes it even more exciting, bruv. That's how I see it, bruv. I could die at any time, so I got to be on my game. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? If I do something wrong, boom, done. That's it. But no, honestly, that ending.
I didn't see what they did that coming. I didn't see.
Yeah, and
And
there's some
now,
theories about his about Butcher's powers. That like when he's got the Homelander like powers, that's when his wife is in his head. But the tentacles, it comes from like his boy, like speaking to him in his dark side or something like that,
well, I
which is
think the
interesting.
the
But
tumor is the evil side of
te-
him.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that took over. I thought it was brilliant how they did the whole him speaking to himself thing. I thought that was great.
Dude,
Um,
that gobsmacked me as well. I was
yeah,
like, wait, nah.
yeah,
Even I believed it, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And what's his name? Um, he's in The Walking Dead. Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
oh,
Again, one of my favorite
he's
actors as
such a
well.
good actor. Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
so good, and he played that role.
He's he's so good at playing despicable characters, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
some people that are just good at being despicable, and they're
yeah.
probably the nicest people about. Do you know what I mean? There was one bugbear I have with that season, though. It was at the beginning, that little bit with Frenchie. Like, I didn't really get.
Yeah, I agree with
Maybe
you.
I missed
I
something
thought
there. I didn't really kind of get what the
it
point
was
of that
right.
was.
Yeah, it was random
Yeah,
because
it came,
that
it went, and then that was it.
we should have had hints of that in previous seasons
Yeah,
because we've always known that him and what's her name? What's her name? Why the names are going out of my head this
come
evening.
on, Kimiko,
Kimiko.
Kimiko.
Yes.
I fancy her as well, actually.
So we always knew that there was going to be some sort of, there's like a, not a love triangle, but a love duo
Mm,
between them. But then
yeah,
having my man come into it randomly in this season, I agree with you that it was a bit like, I don't know
I was like,
I don't know
what
what
the
you're trying
hell
to
is
do
going
here.
on here?
It was a sweet story. And I think they tried to make his character a bit more, make you empathize with his character a bit more. But again, yeah, that was it felt random. It didn't
Yeah,
feel it felt like a last minute. Oh, let's just add this in, rather than
yeah,
because we know The Boys to be a well written show. Everything has thought
yeah.
and meaning behind it. Whereas that one, yeah, you're right. It didn't really feel.
It just felt like you were taking attention, like it's like you needed something else to write to maybe eat up some minutes in the first few episodes or something.
Maybe.
Because if that relationship developed into something that was key towards the end of the season,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
then it's like it makes complete sense. But it was just
Yeah.
like, okay, you fell in love, you had this relationship. Turns out this guy, you've killed his family or something like that, and
Mhm.
all of that. And it's like, cool. But then as soon as that thing finished, it was like, oh, maybe it's gonna come. Oh, okay, it's done. And maybe it was honestly for me, it was just, you can see it was just a device for Kimiko to say, actually, you do love you and
Yeah.
stuff. But there's so many ways you could have done that. That would have been
Yeah.
a bit more like,
I
you
agree
know,
with you.
they almost died together in some really crazy way, and they're like, oh my God, I love you. Or she's trying to save him and she doesn't know what to do, something like that. But yeah, it just felt a bit random. And before anyone says anything, I'm fully for these sorts of relationships. Before anyone tries to get on to me about this stuff, because I know people on X, Elon Musk's ting, on people's ting,
They're
yeah.
gonna say you're anti-LGBTQ.
Yeah. I mean, just make that clear. I said this relationship should have continued towards the end of the season to have some sort of climax. Pause. But my point is, it just didn't make sense in terms of this love interest for the show.
I agree
And
with you.
this,
It wasn't written well. It wasn't written
yeah.
well.
But
How do you
everything else,
see?
I have no complaints.
How do you see it ending? Do you think? Homelander dies? Do you think?
I think Sun kills Butcher before killing Homelander, or Homelander kills, or Butcher kills Homelander, and then
Yeah.
Sun has to kill Butcher.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then the son basically repeats what Homelander does and just becomes a.
I think Sun becomes a better version, but knowing the boys, they might do a madness. Maybe
Yeah.
Homelander kills the boy and Butcher loses his rank completely. And they
Yeah.
kill each other. Do you know what I mean? You heard it, everyone. You heard it here first. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. 2025, 13th of January, Malik, and Man of the People said Butcher Homelander kills the boy and Butcher.
Hey guys, you heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Wallahi, fam, if anyone takes that from me, I need this.
But in the comics, Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander.
Which I was disappointed about, actually. Now they just got some brother. Respect to my brothers. I always wanted to get job opportunities. you know what I mean? But yeah, you're gonna get a superhero of narcolepsy, bro.
Just
That's
yeah,
crazy.
bro. That's
I need
mad.
to say you.
Yeah.
Like, it's long, but yeah. But him and the Deep, their little
But
dynamic.
they're getting murked in like the first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah. Butcher, I think Butcher's gonna Starlight is gonna mess up the Deep.
Yeah.
She might make him. She might make him do something in revenge for what he did to her in the first season.
Yeah.
Kill his octopus like or something. I don't know, but
no, but remember he killed his octopus.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
R.I.P. though. Well, R.I.P.
Yeah.
You were a real one still.
But yeah, so after the boys, we've got a few more. Marvel came back with the big one.
All hail Marvel Jesus, bro. Oh man.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, I'm so happy.
I would probably say since Doctor Strange, this is probably the most anticipated Marvel title. Actually, no. Yeah, I'd say this was the most anticipated Marvel title. We finally getting Deadpool in the MCU. We were all worried about it being capped at a 12A, but it wasn't. It was 15. We were worried about Hugh Jackman coming back. How's he going to come? He came back in full force. And literally, it just felt like a Fox Deadpool movie just with the Marvel Studios intro. And I'm so happy that they did that. What a film. And I know people will say, cameos don't make the movie. Is that, bro?
This was what it was for.
As a kid, when you saw your favorite superhero come into the comic book strip, like Thor is in a Fantastic Four edition, or Spider-Man and Hulk, and you're gassed. So I was gassed seeing 2 really good characters in the, I'd say in the Marvel universe. Deadpool and Wolverine's one of the GOATs. Hugh Jackman's character is forever GOATed. And
what have they been about since 2002, no? They've been over 20 years.
I think he's the longest running actor in a character in the Marvel universe, I think. Yeah. And obviously coming off fresh hot off the Loki season 2, so with the whole thing with the TVA and stuff, I felt they knocked season 1 and season 2 out the park. It was unfortunate, the whole Jonathan Majors Kang situation, because I think he would have had an input in this film in some shape or form.
I told you, isn't there? Like I saw something about what an apparent leak about what the Kang Dynasty movie was going to be.
Well, we're going to do an episode on that.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do an episode and
you should. I'll send you the link to the video, and then we should definitely talk about it because it's interesting. What could have been? That's what I'm going to say, man.
Bro, Marvel. I think Marvel should have continued with Kang. Maybe not with Jonathan Majors, but they could have. I mean, he's a multiverse villain. Fair enough. Jonathan Majors knocked his role out the park, but there are other great actors that could fill that role. But anyway,
honestly, him and John Boyega got the same wrinkles on their forehead like me, fam. So they could have just brought John Boyega. They both called John. It's written in it. Do you know what I mean? But I digress. But you heard that here first.
What did you think of Deadpool and Wolverine?
Do you know what? When I watched it, let me just say I was freaking excited. I was so giddy. Like, honestly, that cinema, like everyone in the cinema, like for me, when I go and watch a film, as much as I'm watching the film, I'm keeping my third eye. I don't even know is that inappropriate? I don't care. My third eye on like the people around me, like trying to sense, are they laughing? Are they enjoying themselves? Like, are people kissing their teeth and all of this stuff? And there was not one person in that cinema, it was packed out anyway, that wasn't belly laughing throughout the whole movie. Like, at no point did it go quiet. Every joke landed. And like I said, like at the start, I thought it was like an introduction to Deadpool, introducing Deadpool to the MCU. But then at the end of it, I quickly realized, actually, this is a farewell to Fox. Yeah. Like, and this is why I think the cameos in this instance are so important. Yeah. Because this was a love letter to, like, let's be real, about 20 years of movies.
We grew up,
you know what I mean?
With Blade and the X-Men movies. Like, no one cared about Avengers. And if anyone's younger than, we would say, like, younger than 30, no, younger than 25 in this stream, we didn't care about Avengers it was X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Blade, and Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man. That
And
was it.
it was literally a love letter to those Fox films. And I think, like even a few days ago, one of my colleagues said he watched it and he was like, why? And I was like, why not? Like the best part about Deadpool and Wolverine was that there was no agenda, there was no message, there was no, outside political
Bro,
influence.
it was
It's
just
just a
a
film.
superhero film.
Yeah, and a fun one at that. And it's,
Yeah.
and that's the reality. Even the gags, with like his best friend at the car dealership being the one that everyone loves. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nice Paul, like, and then when
The dog.
Blade and Elektra come in, like the
Bro.
Blade's entrance probably
Bro.
gasses me up as much as Thor's entrance in Infinity War when he comes to Wakanda.
So and shout out to Stephen Geekface, because on the day, so we had the early screening of Deadpool and Wolverine, and on the day of, he messaged me saying, he messaged in the group saying, guys, do not go on Twitter because major leaks. And I was just like, okay. And normally, like, if it's like a a mid leak, I don't mind knowing it. But he was like, nah, this one you're never gonna guess it, because I was trying to guess there has to be some sort of variance in the film, because we had the TVA. It's somewhat a multiverse film. So I was thinking, all right, cool. So when you first see Chris Evans, I knew he wasn't going to be Captain America. But I thought he was going to be. I knew he wasn't going to be Captain America, but it was cool seeing him back as Johnny Storm. But I thought he was going to be a different Marvel character. And his intro and everything that happened to him in the film was brilliant. Then he had the villains.
That made me scream. I screamed. I screamed. Like,
Because he
literally,
thought he
when
was going to say Avengers Assemble.
Assemble.
Like, flame on.
And when he said what, I was like, huh? Like, do you know what I mean? And I love the fact that they use a lot like cameos from Fox characters and stuff. Like, in a way, it would have been, I'd understand the cameo point if they threw in a bunch of like MCU legacy characters and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? If it was like an Iron Man variant, all this stuff. But the fact that they kept it Fox, that to me again goes back to the point that this was a love letter to Fox, a thank you to Fox, despite the ups and downs. They gave, like, let's be real, like, despite the Phoenix movie, Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class are freaking world-class films.
World class.
Amazing films. Do you know what I mean?
But
and then
Apocalypse was rubbish.
X2. Yeah, Apocalypse.
X2.
Do you know what I mean? But
what was the one with Anya Taylor-Joy in? The one with the school.
The New Mutants.
Yeah, that was awful as well.
I've got the poster. I should burn it.
But you are right. I think as fans, we sometimes can forget the roles that certain things played in, and we're talking about comic book movies. There would be no MCU if it weren't for Blade, and I don't think we would get the MCU to the scale that it is now if there was no Fox X-Men movies. So I agree with you. This was a great love letter to Fox and all the films, like you said, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
I thought the cameos, I mean, when Blade walked in, I said Blade's entrance for me felt far greater than when Spider-Man.
Well, with Andrew Garfield and stuff.
Because the only reason why, and maybe this is me just being on social media too much, is I already knew the leaks were there. I mean, that Andrew Garfield leak came out 3-4 months before the release of the film, where he's grabbing onto the pole, and he's like, and there was the blue screen behind him.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that he was in there, but with this Deadpool, I don't know how they kept that quiet. And I love that it was Wesley Snipes' Blade, not some random guy playing Blade. And I kind of think it kind of put a spanner in the works, I think, with the Blade film that we've been expecting for the past 3 years. Yeah, because he says in the film, there's only one blade. There's only going to be one blade.
If that is not shots fired, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think Marvel Marvel have a job on their hands because that Blade movie has to be perfect.
Well, do you know that
Forget
Blade?
the
You know
third
that. Oh,
blood.
it's a series now, isn't it? They're turning it into a series.
Nah, they
Yeah,
shouldn't do that, man.
and on top of that, with the amount of writers changes and stuff, there was a leak that came out that said Blade would have been like the fourth protagonist in the story
Yeah,
behind
it was his
three other
daughter.
girls or something like that.
It was gonna be
Yeah.
his daughter.
So it's
No,
like that's
no.
not Blade anymore. That just give it another
Respectfully,
name.
no one wants that, bro. We want to
No
see
one
Blade
does.
slicing up vampires. That's all we want to see.
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
If you want to make a show about his daughter, make it. But
Yeah.
give me Blade.
But yeah, with Deadpool and Wolverine, we had Elektra, we had Blade, we had
Gambit, man.
Gambit. That
you know what? That reignited the whole Channing Tatum Gambit thing.
they're gonna bring him back. They're gonna bring him back. They're gonna bring him back. I think Channing Tatum as Gambit, regardless of what you say about his accent.
Do you know? I think the accent makes it even better, though. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, it was just, I loved every time he spoke. I was just there.
I'm just happy because that Gambit film was greenlit before Disney bought Fox.
Yeah, I remember.
Fox, it was going
to
to happen.
Wolverine Origins, isn't it?
Yeah, Gambit was going to be the next film, and we were gassed because Gambit, like we said in X-Men '97, he's a great character, and that got canned because Disney bought it. But it's nice to see him back, and I think they're going to bring him back after Secret Wars. Or they might do a Gambit movie beforehand, actually.
Yeah. They're keeping their cards close to their chest now. I think the excitement's back ever so slightly.
100%. Marvel's back. I said in my review for Deadpool and Wolverine, I said Marvel's back.
Yeah.
They've had a string of releases now that I'm like, okay, they have finally found their feet. It's not, and I always knew it was never going to reach Endgame levels. We have to get there, and I think Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be nuts. Like that film needs to be like 5 hours long, and I'm going to sit in the cinema for 5 hours and 1 minute.
I'll sleep in there if I have to, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care, bro. Like, I'm not happy about. I'm not. I think I might be one of the only people that's not happy about Downey Jr. being back, but I'll sleep in it. I'll sleep in the cinema, watch this.
Well, we're gonna, bro. This show, Sunday Superverse, we're gonna be discussing
all of that. A lot of stuff. Yeah,
we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff, guys. So if you're into Marvel, DC, and the stuff we're talking about right now, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Real M's. His social stuff should be in the description. But yeah, so Deadpool Wolverine came out in June, and then there was like a break. There was kind of a break. Everyone went on their summer holidays. I'm
gonna be real. There was a break in the whole of the film industry. You saw some of my messages to you, man. Every film was dead, fam. Everything was dead,
bro. It got bad.
It was horrible.
It got bad. And by the way, guys, this is only superhero stuff. If you want to hear stuff outside of the superhero, make sure you follow both of our channels because we talk about other films like Heretic and Conclave and film stuff.
Yeah.
We do know about our film, but we have the other side where we enjoy comic book movies and TV shows as well. The only Blade is raw. Trust me, and the next Blade film has to be either a 15 or an 18. If they try and make Blade a PG or 12, I'm walking out the cinema.
Bro, it needs to be a 25. I don't even know. Yeah. 25.
They need to make a new. They need to make a new rating for this Blade film.
I want to see stuff that's gonna make me throw up in the cinema, bro. Like, I want to come out of there traumatized.
Well, like The Substance.
Yeah. Oh my. I loved. I'm so right, and I'm so gassed about how right I was about this film, bro. I loved it. I'm gonna shut up about it because I'm gonna start crying of happiness.
So after the break of last year, we had Agatha All Along. That had like 10 different names. There's like Agatha Darkhold Diaries, Agatha Did It, Agatha this, Agatha that. And I thought it was really clever how they were, the character of Agatha kind of, fitted into the marketing. And yeah, this was released before Halloween, but I think the episode finished on the week of Halloween, which is a nice touch because this does have like a spooky, it's about witches and the coven, and it had Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and some other inspirations from TV shows that are in this realm. And when I first watched the teaser trailer, I said to myself, I said, this is going to be a good show. And a lot of people were like, you know what? Nah, Marvel this, Marvel that. It has a good cast, man. You have Aubrey Plaza. You had Catherine
I love
Hahn.
Aubrey. I really do love Aubrey Plaza. Like, I don't. Do you know her face is so deadpan? She can actually fit in any genre.
Yeah,
and not
and her
not stick
banter,
out.
and her banter's like,
On point.
she can hold her own.
I think the first thing I saw her in properly that I can remember is White Lotus.
I still season 3's. I need to bang out 1 and 2
Oh,
because season
man.
3's coming out soon.
Dude,
Yeah,
I beg you, you put me
I
on
will.
X-Men 97.
I
I'm
will.
putting you on White Lotus, dude.
I
You
will.
won't
I
regret
will.
it.
But yeah, so Agatha all along was a continuation from WandaVision. At the end of WandaVision, Agatha turns out to be the witch that was behind all the stuff happening. She was tormenting Wanda Maximoff, and at the end, her and Wanda Maximoff have a big fight. They use their powers, pew, 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 and then at the end of it, Wanda puts Agatha into this hex that she can't get out of. And then in this season, Agatha all along, she breaks out of the spell and she embarks on this journey of the Witch's Road trials, which is it pays homage to the Wizard of Oz. What's the journey in the Wizard of Oz? The Yellow Brick Road, that journey.
Yeah, the Yellow Brick Road, Lion Witch and the Wardrobe.
So it pays homage to that, in which she has to do these trials to reclaim her powers. And we get the introduction of a pivotal character in the new age of Marvel universe. His name was Teen, played by Joe Locke, who at the end of have you watched Agatha all along?
Yes.
Okay,
It
cool.
was
I was going to do
surprise.
no spoil. I was going to do a spoiler.
No, I watched it. I watched it.
Oh, okay,
I watched
cool.
it.
Yeah, so Teen turns out to be Wiccan, who is one of the sons of Wanda Maximoff. And they kind of changed stuff in this series because I think in the comics there's one storyline where her kids are offsprings from Mephisto, and everyone was saying Mephisto is going to be in this TV show, and everyone was getting gassed, and Mephisto didn't turn up. But I still think they did a really good job with Agatha all along. I thought it was a nice TV show to have that I didn't have to put much brain power into.
Yeah.
And I like that. Yeah. It was fun. It had some dark moments. There was a brilliant episode, I think episode 6 or 7, with what's the name? The one with the sword one.
Is it the older one?
Where the room turns upside down.
Yes, yeah. I remember, we spoke about that one actually.
Yeah, that was a fantastic episode.
That was an amazing episode, and it was deep. Like
it was,
it had depth to it that I wasn't expecting from the show. Definitely, definitely.
So, and then it kind of just not flatlined in terms of poor quality, but it kind of it had its peak and then just kind of just maintained itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was cool. Again, at the end, we're probably going to get a Wiccan TV show. I don't really care for these new Avengers that they're trying to build up. I don't really care about them.
Especially the young ones. I couldn't give a flying toss, to be honest.
I'm not really gassed about it. But again, look, we're getting old. We're getting older, sorry. And, Disney got to pay the bills. So there needs to,
do. I think Agatha all along was a very pleasant surprise for me. My camera quality has gone a bit mad. Apologies, guys. I don't know what's happened. But your mic's surprise for me.
Your mic's doubling up again.
Well.
No, it's doubling up.
No. I don't know what just happened there.
That's better now. It's better.
Okay, better. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was. I had no expectations for it, but you know what? I think looking at like the effects and the set design alone, there was an element of care, and they obviously put a lot of work into it, and that in itself made me appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Catherine Hahn as Agatha, her sass, her attitude, like I loved it. I loved the way she was. Like it was such a larger than life character for me that I could watch this because I just wanted to know what other type of nonsense she'd be on, like how awful she is, what she's gonna do, and the other characters sort of not trusting her. Me, like, and I was like that parent, that parent that's overprotective of his kid over the kids, like, no, they're gonna be well behaved at the birthday party. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I promise you this time they're not gonna put we in the Ribena, like it's calm. And then the kid puts we in the Ribena, it's like, rah. I can't even lie. I kind of was lying to myself, but she gave me that feeling. That's a bad analogy. Sorry, guys. But, but yeah, so, and I liked her, like you said, Aubrey Plaza, like the cast in general were really good. The story, you know what it is? Like you said, the story was very simple. And I think with Marvel TV shows, the trick is for me that the story is simple. WandaVision, it had its quirk. It had every episode was going to be like a different type of genre, for example. Loki, the story, I think once the thing with the stuff with Jonathan Majors started to really turn, it actually made Loki a much simpler story. In that, like, because you can see they were trying to like navigate away from Kang,
Yeah.
and just keep
Make
it really
Loki
simple.
the god of stories. Yeah.
Exactly. And ironically, it kept the story very simple and it gave Loki what I think one of the best endings
Yeah.
a character could get. And we'll probably see him again, but in this regard, it was a full redemption arc, and I think it was a better redemption arc than the one we got in Infinity War, because obviously he came at a point where he was still technically evil. So, yeah, and I think Agatha all along was one of those pleasant surprises where, it came out, I think it came out literally the same week as the Penguin as well, actually.
Yeah.
So it was competing against something with high expectation that was a completely different, a completely different atmosphere as well. And I think it stood on its own. And I'm very, like, can I say, proud of the work they've done because
They did well. I
it
agree
could've-
with all of yeah. I agree with all you said.
Nobody wanted this. Nobody wanted Agatha all along. I remember everyone
Everyone
was
was like,
what is this? What's the
yeah.
point? Why? So fair play.
No, I agree with you on that. And I think we find out the backstory to Agatha's son and what happened with that. I thought that was sad.
Yeah.
That was sad. And then obviously Aubrey's character being Lady Death and all that type of stuff. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think they did well. Again, not an outstanding TV show that wins awards, but it's one that I recommend. Maybe it could have been binge watched rather than weekly release. But then I think the weekly did help the show. It got that feeling back of, and I'm always I'm weekly release over binge watching.
Yeah. So, I'm getting back to that myself. Do you know, I think it worked for the show because if it was binge watched, I know for a fact halfway through it, I would have been on my phone not paying attention.
True.
At some point.
You're right,
I would but because it was weekly, I could sit down and watch it for the whole way through, paying attention to the story fully. And that's actually made me appreciate the story more. Because there's some shows that are great, but binge watching it, there comes a couple of episodes where they're like filler episodes, and you're just there on your phone playing. Yeah. I'm playing golf battle on my phone. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, okay, nothing's happening. I'll just keep playing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think this really helped the show. I agree with that.
So we're moving. Got last few releases. So I mean, it's probably the best superhero show of last year.
Yeah.
Call it or villain. I mean, I started watching it, but I didn't finish it. But I'm gonna hand this over to you because we had the release of the Penguin, which which is deemed as one of the best TV shows of our time. Some of the greatest performances. I mean, Colin Farrell as the Penguin. You can't even recognize him. He's unrecognizable. Like, you what? Kristen. Is it Milotti as Sophia Falcone?
Yeah. She was was, by the way, guys, she's the mother from How I Met Your Mother. She's the mother. She ain't supposed to be this bad bee. She's a mum. Yeah, she ain't supposed to be this ragdoll fam. She ain't supposed to be this maniac. Let's go put that out there. She's the mother from How I Met Your Mother. That's all I want to say.
No, I'm due to finish this off. I mean, I think I watched the first episode and I think I watched a bit of the second episode, and I automatically knew this was going to be a banger. And you're probably going to say this, but it definitely felt like someone had taken The Sopranos
Yeah,
and just put it into a superhero universe and just
yeah,
in the Joker just says all you have to do is give it a little push.
yes.
That's exactly what they did.
No, honestly, that's how I described it to someone today. Actually, it's literally you've taken The Sopranos and put it in the Batman universe.
Hmm.
And yeah, I won't spoil it for you or anyone else, but yeah, it takes place pretty much in the aftermath of Matt Reeves' Batman, which was actually a very good film.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just about the Penguin. He wasn't even in the film that much, but I think there was a lot of fanfare around the fact, like the makeup, the fact that it's Colin Farrell. Like, I didn't even realize he was in it until I read afterwards. And I think the reality is, like, this show makes you like. I've never taken the Penguin seriously as a villain. I've always found him a bit of a joke. And then you look at what's his name, the short guy, proper short guy. I forgot his name.
What the
He out. He played the Penguin years ago. I think it was in the 90s or the 80s. And
what in the Tim Burton Batman?
yeah, I think so. What was his name again?
Matilda. What's his name?
He came higher than Thierry O'Rian, the sexiest bald man in the in the world as well. I forgot his name.
It is not Jack Nicholson. Is it Batman 2?
Just put Penguin 90s. There you go.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
How can we forget Danny DeVito?
I know that's an L, guys. My apologies, but yeah, like there's him. There's the cartoons, and I've just never taken the Penguin seriously ever. But then here, it's like I said in one of my TikTok reviews, like Colin Farrell brought this sort of childlike innocence to the character, and there's this whole thing about his relationship with his mum as well, which when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh my god. Like, there's so many little things, little layers. And the fact that, like, they've shown him as someone that was just a small piece of a bigger organized crime puzzle. And yeah, just watching his development, you start to actually feel like you forget that he's a villain, and he starts to, like, win you over as, like, this guy might actually be, he does what he needs to do, but he might actually be a good guy. And then just as you're getting there, slap bang, you're reminded. And, like, honestly, this show, when I finished it, I was like, this is probably the best. This is it's not my favorite TV show of the year. Free Body Problem takes that. But yeah, this is probably, it's in my top 5. I'm making my big review. You guys, when I release that, you'll see. But it's definitely in my top 5 film and TV shows of the year. And yes, 100% go and watch it. Go and watch it. I think here, I've got HBO Max over here in the Netherlands, which is amazing. And I think it's on Sky Atlantic, and I can see Now TV as well.
Yeah, Sky Atlantic, yeah.
So yeah, it's 100%. I envy you. The fact that you're going to be deflowered by this. I want to be deflowered again. You know what I mean? So
no, I can't wait to watch this. Such a great
show. Yeah, 100%. I'd recommend, and it's not like beholden to just like one type of viewer. A lot of people can watch this for different reasons. And the best part is, even though it's in the Batman universe, they don't even mention him in there. So don't expect it, and it's fine. Like, you don't give a damn about it, actually. You forget that it's even a Batman universe thing, which is, I think, incredible. It's like Captain America, the Winter Soldier. You take away the Marvel aspect in that,
it's still
I think
a great
it's still a
espionage
good political
thriller.
Thriller, yeah. And this is one of those things. It's still a great organized family crime business thriller. Like, it's amazing. It's such a good show. Such a good show. And Colin Farrell, one of his best performances ever. And this is a couple years after the Banshees of Inisherin, which is another great film.
Yeah, I need to. That's another film I need to watch, man.
Dude,
you know what it is with doing this content creation around stuff. If you miss one title, that's it.
Get lost. Yeah.
That is it. But yeah, guys, that was The Penguin, which is out on HBO Max. If you're here in the UK, it's Sky Atlantic.
Yeah.
And then we go to and then after The Penguin, the highest of highs of The Penguin. And this was a film that came out whilst I was away. So I never watched this movie, but I know Real M watched it. MOTP watched this film, and he can speak French as well. So,
Putain, bon
um,
sang de Dieu.
we're
Oh
going
là 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 là
to
là 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 là.
we are
Oh
going
là là
to
là là là.
Joker Volet à deux, which is Joker 2 to us Brits. But yeah.
Putain.
First of all, that first Joker film came out of nowhere, and it was a masterful film. One of my favorite films, one of my favorite comic book movies. And I was like, you know what? I'm happy with this just being a standalone film. It doesn't have to connect to the whole Batman universe and all the stuff that us fans really want. We want everything to connect. But I'm now coming to the idea of, like I said at the top end of the show, I'm happy with stuff just being a standalone movie. Like, it doesn't always have to be connected. But then when Joker 2 was green lit, I think you was probably the same feeling. We were like, why is Joker 2 happening?
Yep.
And then you're like, all right, cool. Then they're like, we're having Harley Quinn in it. Then I'm like, we've just had 2 movies of Harley Quinn. Why are we now having another movie with Harley Quinn? Then, all right, cool. Lady Gaga's going to play Harley Quinn. I like Lady Gaga. She's very talented. She fits the quirkiness of the character. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But then I was just thinking, all right, cool. We've just had the Batman. We've got Superman coming out later this year. Where does this fit? Oh, it's an Elseworld story. Cool. So it's outside of the universe. All right, cool. I'm with that. Then they label the film being a musical. And that's when I tapped out. I was like, I'm not bringing myself. I'm not bringing myself. I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but don't turn Joker into a musical. And this was prior. Again, I've not watched it yet. One, because I was on holiday, and then when I came back, the bad press from people like yourself and other people's reviews that I take in and respect. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for this to come onto streaming, and then I just never got around to watching it. But yeah, how did Todd Phillips' second outing for Joker do?
C'était la merde. Que la merde. Absolutely terrible. I cannot, like Wenger would say, the pit was shit. Huh? Nah, dog. If you hate musicals, you're gonna hate them even more, bruv.
Okay.
For real. Like, do you know what it is? I wasn't mad at the idea of Harley Quinn, of Joker being a musical. Because for me, I will maintain that, like, if you're going to make a musical in a sort of cinematic universe or anything, the 2 best characters to do that with would probably be Joker and Harley Quinn. You know, the fact that they're jesters, performers, they love to dance and do some crazy things. So I was like, okay, this is not a terrible idea. I'm gonna let it land because I love a good musical. Wicked, one of my favorite theatre shows ever. High School Musical at the Hammersmith Apollo was amazing. Even the Disney version, I can't lie. I'm a gangster, don't get me wrong. But this was lit. You know what I mean? But then, you know, you got the first Joker and you know that he wanted to be a showman, a comedian, and okay, this will work. But this, like, you look at the stuff outside of the film, like the fact that Todd Phillips apparently didn't want to make the movie.
Yeah.
You know, they upped the budget. You know, and
yeah, because the first Joker film made over $1 billion.
Yeah,
and I don't know who in the building at Warner Bros. Said this second movie is now gonna make more than $1 billion.
They were on shrooms. Long story short, because on top of that, like, there was a finality to the first Joker that worked, and if you're gonna revive it, I think you find an intelligent way to maybe connect it to the Matt Reeves Batman, rather than, do you know what I mean? Find something like if then maybe I'm reaching, but maybe find a way to do that. But honestly, it really is just a replay of the first movie from a courthouse with way too many songs. Like, I watched it weeks after it was released. And like I said earlier, like in Deadpool Wolverine, I kind of was trying to get a sense of the audience around me. About an hour and a bit in, another song starts, and like people are just moaning and groaning, like, "Oh, come on, where's the story going?" And then, interestingly enough, like I'm gonna let you watch it so you can see the ending, because if this happened halfway through the movie, then okay, but because it happened at the end, and you know you're not gonna get another one, you're kind of like, you lot really just like Todd Phillips really mocked us. Like he tried to call me an incel. Like he really did.
Well,
He really did.
well,
Like, and yeah,
we saw this with Warner Bros. When they did the Matrix film, because rumors are saying that the Wachowskis didn't want to do another Matrix movie. It was done. But obviously, Hollywood has to make money. They're going through COVID. They need some sort of cash injection. Matrix is one of their high
biggest property.
profile titles, property. And I think the directors, I did not like that Matrix film. I don't know if you've watched it,
I haven't
but
even bothered. No.
it kind of felt what you're explaining, where I don't think Todd Phillips, I think he purposely made this film bad as like a middle finger back to Warner Bros.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those ones where
100%.
we didn't want to do this, but you're forcing me to do it. I'm going to take payment and I'm going to make a bad film.
Yeah. And honestly, I get it. But for me, as a filmmaker, that's your freaking job at the end of the day.
Yeah,
And
you have to
do you
make
know
a
what I
good
mean?
movie.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think Warner Brothers, if he didn't want to make it, find someone else that will and get him to consult. I don't care. But I see both sides of it, but I'm gonna lean on the side of, look, if this made $1 billion, you can't be surprised if they're gonna want a sequel. That's what $1 billion movies do.
yeah,
It's a business at the end of the day. And in the cinema, to make $1 billion in this day and age is hard because of the
yeah,
streaming services.
yeah.
So yeah, but I think, because here's the killer. The cinematography was beautiful. The set pieces, wonderful. The set design, wonderful. The performances, wonderful. Lady Gaga as Harlequin, for me, is a stroke of genius, especially if you want to make it a musical. But man, like, it focused way too much on her, and it almost reduced Arthur Fleck, not Joker, but Arthur Fleck, into a secondary character in his own story. But on top of that, this story went nowhere, and that's where the middle finger comes. It's, I'm just gonna redo the first film, but we're gonna be in a courtroom, and there's gonna be loads of songs to waste 2 hours of everyone's time.
So you don't agree with the Independent, Radio Times, Daily Mail discussing
Dude,
film?
what was that 5-star film that came out years ago? Midnight Special with Michael Shannon and Kirsten Dunst. It was 5 stars by all these mucks here, bruv. Yeah. Who remembers this film? No one.
Okay.
I don't listen to them, because they'll turn around and say a film that, like, Deadpool and Wolverine got 3 stars and stuff. I was in the cinema with bare people. Didn't sound like a 3-star movie to me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
This doesn't seem like a 4-star, 5-star. This is barely 1. Sorry, it's getting me mad. Honestly.
We got the last 2 releases, and I think we should skip past them because we're getting close to the end of the show. And again, these are 2 films that I've not watched, and it's a Sonyverse.
Oh yeah, Venom: The Last Dance.
Venom: The Last Dance and Craven the Hunter.
I went to watch it on Friday and I fell asleep. I don't remember anything.
Craven or Venom?
Craven, because I went to have some drinks with some friends and I went to the cinema. I don't remember anything. I fell asleep. Okay. I need to go watch it again just to be sure. But yeah.
Again,
Venom: Last Dance, I enjoyed. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a soft spot for Tom Hardy and Venom, because Venom's one of my favorite characters.
And a lot of people do, but I just don't like the fact that you're doing a Venom movie and there's no Spider-Man. And
that is the big annoyance. And the fact is, they had that whole, he got sucked into the MCU for a minute, and then dash back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's the great frustration with it. Do you know what? I like the fact that they understood the first Venom wasn't great, and they took the fact that the one thing that was good about the first Venom was the comedy between, Eddie Brock and Venom. And they used it, and I loved it. There were so many funny moments. It was a bit ridiculous. It was a bit stupid. And I think they are well aware of that with this,
Yeah, yeah.
and they play on it. And there's a lot of moments you're like, what the fuck is going on? But excuse my French again. But yeah, again, it's disappointing. It's not a great movie. For me, it's like Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Like, I will never tell anyone this is a good film, but I will say that like I enjoy watching it for some reason. Because there are moments. Like these are films with moments that I like.
Yeah, we
And with
all have
characters that I
our
like.
guilty
Yeah,
pleasures that we like, and
exactly.
I'm due to watch both of these films.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, the lead person who was in the Sony universe, he's left now, so he was behind all of these titles that didn't have Spider-Man in it. So
Now
hopefully
they should
going
just sell
forward,
the rights, man. Sell them
bro,
to
if
just sell them.
if Disney buy the Spider-Man rights,
It's
it's
crazy.
game over, bro.
Oh, it's game. It's crazy. It's fugazi. out here.
It's actually like the Monopoly Commission will have to step in and
Take my
stop,
salary for the next 10 years. I don't care.
bro.
Honestly.
Anyway, look, guys, that was a recap of 2024. Yeah, 2024.
Oh wait, have you not? Sorry, have you not watched Creature Commandos?
Oh yes, that was it. That was the last one.
Yeah,
Creature Command? That came out December. That was the
Yeah.
final.
I watched episode 7 today.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
No, my guy told me to watch it as well. My other boy told me to watch it.
You'll thoroughly enjoy this. You'll
Okay.
thoroughly enjoy this. Again, HBO Max, man. Honestly, in England, I don't know how they're doing you lot dirty. Yeah,
Bro, it's Sky. It's Sky. Bro. It's Sky, bro.
Yeah, but there's so much more because I told you I found an anime version of Suicide Squad on HBO Max today. Literally, like there is so much there. Yeah, Creature Commandos, 100% recommend. And I think What If, it's just a what if thing, isn't it? Like it's a great ending, and I think it's leading up to I forgot the name, but it's leading up to another show that they're going to be doing with the remaining characters from What If. But if you're into all the cosmic Marvel stuff, then What If series 3, season 3, you're really going to enjoy. Definitely.
So Creature Commandos is finished now, hasn't it?
Episode 7 came out today. Or the day before. Yeah, I think they're doing it weekly as well. So there's definitely a few more episodes to come out. Definitely, the story's not finished. So you can catch up well in the knowledge that no spoilers gonna come. But yeah, it's great, great show. Definitely watch it.
So we're getting back to. We'll just come back to here while I get another window up. And thanks, still got people in the stream, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in and watching it, man. We've kept you guys here for a long time. The show wasn't even supposed to be this long.
We're talking,
but we're just talking. And by the way, this normally happens on a Sunday, but because of the FA Cup match, we've moved it to till today. But we'll be back to regular programming in another 2 weeks' time.
Yeah,
all right, cool. So we're gonna quickly go through 2025 releases from comic book stuff that we know of as of today. Again, we're probably going to hear more news of some stuff coming out that we don't know of. But we're starting the year pretty strong, man. And we're taking it to it's not even on my it's not even on here. Let me just get this up here quickly. Boom. Yeah. We're taking it to Captain America Brave New World.
No,
I mean
the reshoots are making me worried, but the cast is brilliant. And
I mean, if we're listening to the rumors, there's certain characters in this film that have been rewritten because of public's because of what the public have been saying. And Disney, they keep their ears to the streets. As soon as they hear something, they feed it back up the chain. And I think this is what's happened with Captain America. Because the first title for this film was New World Order.
Yes,
it was Captain America New World Order, and then there was a lot of controversy and conspiracy theorists online talking about it, and then they changed it to Brave New World. So that tells us that this film is going to be Winter Soldier, not in terms of quality, but in terms of the whole political things that is going to highlight. It's going to be on steroids. And there's a few characters in here that people are not fond of, but like you said, I'm I'm excited to see, Anthony Mackie in his first feature film as Cap.
Yep.
Um, I don't know how
Giancarlo
he's gonna.
Esposito always puts in a good performance as well.
Yeah, I don't know what his character is gonna be, but it's nice seeing him in here. We've got Tim Blake Nelson as what's the villain with the big head?
The leader.
The leader. So he's playing the leader.
I've got so many flagrant jokes to make about it, but I won't.
You got Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Ross. He's replacing the actor who sadly passed away. I can't remember his name, but sorry about that. But you know what? I'm gonna not disrespect him, and I will get his.
Is he not William Hurt?
I think you're right.
Yeah, William Hurt or something.
William Hurt.
William
that was
Hurt.
it. So so Harrison Ford is replacing William Hurt. And as you can see in the trailer that just played, he becomes the Red Hulk. So
I'm really annoyed they showed that. I really would have preferred they kept that secret.
But that tells me they have something bigger. And I think we're going to get Mark Ruffalo Hulk in this movie. Because if Sam Wilson doesn't take the super serum, there is no way I'm believing that he's fighting the Hulk. I'm sorry. You can have all the Wakandan metal, all that. Bro, we're talking about
dead,
Hulk.
fam. You're not surviving. I'm sorry. He flicks you. You're done.
So I think it's one or two things. We're getting a Green Hulk, or
he takes a
Sam Wilson takes a serum and he gets and he becomes a fully strength Captain America,
which I'm all about still.
So that releases. It's a weird release date though, Valentine's Day. It's a strange release date, but they do this every year. Marvel.
The first Deadpool came out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, but that still had kind of like a love story,
Yeah, again, that's true. It was literally a love story.
Yeah, but this is a bit weird. So yeah, Captain America: Brave New Worlds. Then we have
maybe him and Red Hulk go to Nando's together or something. But
all right, next up we have Daredevil: Born Again. I cannot wait for this.
I'm not even watching the trailers.
Series. Oh my gosh. One of the best TV series to release on Netflix. So Netflix, prior to Disney Plus, guys, if you don't know, they had their own Marvel universe. And when Disney, the contracts didn't, Disney didn't renew the contracts because they saw what Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that were doing. And they were releasing Disney Plus, so they needed titles to bring people onto the platform. And yeah, I'm happy to announce that they are continuing the story from the Disney Plus show. Sorry, they're continuing the Daredevil Netflix storyline in the Disney Plus Daredevil film. So we don't know what's going to happen in terms of the narrative. I think we are going to see elements of the blip from Endgame because he was in that world, just we never saw him in the films. We've got Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin, one of my favorite. We've got Punisher, John Bernthal's in this. We've got Karen Page. We've got Foggy Nelson back as well. They're going to smoke this show. They're going to smoke it. Yeah. Originally, it was supposed to be like 16 episodes, but they cut it down to, I think it's 8. I think 8 episodes. But I think this is already going to be like a 2, 3, 4 series TV show.
Yeah.
So, and we have to have Daredevil and Spider-Man. Like they can't do Daredevil and no Spider-Man content. We have to see this.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've been waiting for this for so long that like I'm ready. It's time.
Yeah, same, bro. It's gonna be good, bro. What made me laugh is they recorded like the first part of the series, and rumors were Kevin Feige sat down, watched it, and sacked everyone because it was the complete opposite of what we've grown to love with the Netflix Daredevil series.
I rate it.
So he was like, "What is this nonsense?" Everyone out, and they got new writers to come and write it because apparently, Karen and Foggy weren't in it. Apparently, Foggy was going to die in episode 1 or 2, and Karen wasn't brought into. And we were like, "Hang on a minute." They make the show as well as Daredevil. Like it's not
literally that's his moral
support,
moral weight. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what keeps him grounded.
So Yeah, I think they're gonna smoke this one. Oh, it's 18 episodes. Yeah, that's it. It's 18
Yeah, it was
episodes.
originally supposed to be 23, wasn't it, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that? Yeah.
But I think we're gonna get it in. So I think we're gonna get 10 episodes and then 8 or 9 and 9. Probably
Mm,
9 and 9.
yeah.
I just can't wait to see Punisher and Daredevil back again.
Yeah. John Bernthal like literally one. He's grown to be one of
Under
my favorite
Underrated
actors.
actor.
Yeah.
Underrated actor. So then after Daredevil, we have Thunderbolts with an
I'm
asterisk.
excited for this one.
And
I'm
I am
very,
too.
very, very excited
I'm
about this one.
excited for this film. Now,
Especially as we're gonna get the Sentry in
yeah.
this. And if you know in the comics, if you got the Sentry, that means at some point we might get the Void. Imagine.
Now Marvel are cooking. Now they're
You
back
know?
to, but we need to find out what this asterisk means. And I think the Thunderbolts gonna be retitled. I think it's probably gonna be like Dark Avengers or something like that.
I heard something along the lines of in the film there's a gag about like they just called themselves like they called the Thunderbolts and they talk about revisiting the name or
Yeah,
something like that in the film. So maybe it's that, I'm not sure. But
I think it'll be like
yeah.
Dark Avengers. I think it'll be like Dark Avengers at the end of it or something like that.
Well, they done it with Agatha, whatever it was at first.
Yeah.
So
But with a great cast, Sebastian back as Bucky, Florence Pugh as Yelena.
Babes in there, Florence
We've got
Pugh,
David
come on.
Harbour as Alexei. We've got John Walker, White Russell's John Walker, the evil Captain America. Well, who else have we got? We've got what's that? Is it Ghost? We've got
What's her name?
Taskmaster.
What's her name? She played Elaine in Seinfeld. I always forget her name. Juliana Dreyfus? Something Dreyfus.
Oh yeah, Julia
Louise Dreyfus. That's it.
Louis Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
I love her.
I think they're gonna. This is gonna be. I think people looked at this and immediately wrote it off. I think this is gonna be like a Guardians level movie.
I was literally about to say it. Like, do you remember when Guardians was announced? It was like, who wants to watch? I was even like, who wants to freaking Talking Raccoon, bruv?
Exactly.
Am I a monk, fam? Am I a monk, fam? Nah. And then I was like, Guardians of the Galaxy is what really dragged me into the lore of like Marvel and the MCU. Like, that was a film that opened me up like a beautiful flower to this world, you know. And I hope Thunderbolts, you know, this. I want it to slap up Suicide Squad.
It will. But
I want it, yeah.
The second Suicide Squad was a brilliant movie.
It was solid. It was very good.
I love that film.
It's what the first one should have been.
Should have been
a sort of satirical, funny, and a bit ridiculous thing. But the first one, they got caught between trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy and trying to be serious.
And
they
also
didn't know what they wanted to do.
And they wanted to tie it in with the then DC universe and all that nonsense and stuff. But
R.I.P. Snyderverse.
But yeah, Thunderbolts comes out, and then we have a film that I didn't think would look good, but the trailer released around Christmas time last year, and it's Superman. And this is James Gunn's first film in his new DC universe. He's directing it. I think he's co-writing it. Yeah, he's co-writing it as well. It's a totally new cast. We have a new Superman. The new Superman is David Cornsweet or Cornsweet. Yeah, David Cornsweet. We've got a new Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult is playing Lex Luthor. And yeah, I have to say, the trailer.
Oh wait, go back to the cast. Supergirl's going to be in it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Millie Alcock. Yeah, she's playing Supergirl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Supergirl's going to be the next film after this one. But
here's an interesting one as well. You see Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
He actually voices Rick Flag Sr. in Creature Commandos as well.
Oh, so they're doing like a continuation.
I remember James Gunn saying like, even if it's animated, it's going to be still within the same universe.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting, actually. That.
But I think everyone was writing James Gunn off And this trailer really surprised me. And
I don't know why though. I don't actually understand why they would have done that. Like, it's not like he had his controversy, but it's not like he fell off. All the Guardians movies are great.
yep.
You know, like he was absolutely the right guy to revive the DC universe. So, like, you know, of course the controversy is a bit mad. Don't get me wrong, it's a mad controversy, but like he is an insanely talented guy, and if there was someone that Marvel really should have tried to keep,
It was
well,
him.
honestly, it would have been him.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
he
mean?
could have taken over Kevin Feige, I think. But
Yeah,
it was
like
it's a
him
big
and the
loss.
Russo brothers are
Yeah.
they're the reason why Marvel are Marvel today.
Yeah.
You know, like Joss Whedon, I'll give him his props, but after the Justice League nonsense, he's just a waste man, bro.
Bro, he butchered that. But
That was petty.
This Superman trailer reminded me a lot of the Christopher Reeve's
Yes.
Superman film. And look, Zack Snyder, he's Marmite to some people. You either love him or you don't like him. And I think Zack Snyder, for me, I think he did extremely well from a aesthetic and cinematography standpoint of his universe. But when it came to the story and character development, for me, it didn't exist. I remember I went cinema to watch.
Family style over substance, like
I went to see Batman vs Superman with some family members, and I remember seeing my cousin just sleeping. Now me and you, we're due to revisit Batman vs Superman because I think.
Oh, bro, I did it just before I went back to London for Christmas.
And I think it's one of those films that I think may have aged better than we thought. Yes, but don't say anything. That's
exactly what I thought.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But we will revisit it on the stream. But I just think when it comes to comic book movies, that as much as people love Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, I think people also forget the bright poppy colors, the humor, the wacky characters, and from this first trailer from James Gunn's Superman, he's kind of implemented all of that in.
Yeah.
And it's strange because people's perception of comic book movies, it always reverts to The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Which great trilogy, by the way. But if we're talking about comic book movies and the character of Superman, he installs hope to people. And when you watch the Zack Snyder hope, to me, I don't feel any hope watching the Zack Snyder. I just feel my man's gonna smoke everyone in this universe.
And like you feel the universe is doomed. Like,
I don't. There's no hope. Whereas with this one, I feel hope. Like he comes across as a young Superman trying to find himself. I like that he's already established.
There was a comment when I watched the trailer. Sorry for cutting you off. There was a comment
that
was very interesting, actually, and the comment was, "It's actually nice to see Superman actually like saving people, if that makes sense."
That's what we
see. Not in a battle. Like Superman just on his daily saving people, not just saving Lois and back in the Mandem, saving people. Because Henry Cavill, I love Cavill as Super. I'm so upset about this.
It's big shoes to fill, by the way. It's big shoes.
But honestly, the Batman that should have been in Henry Cavill and Snyder's
Ben Affleck, best Batman.
No, it should have been the Batman who laughs, bro. It's just dark, fam. It's not supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be a Batman that saves. This is the Batman who laughs universe, bro. Because that universe was, I would look mixed race in there. That's how dark it was, bruv. Crazy, fam.
So I think that's why I'm optimistic. I was surprised by the trailer, and I think this will be a good film because
I feel like this will make me feel like a kid again.
Yes,
like Lois and Clark back in the day.
Yeah, it installs that feeling.
Yeah.
So I mean, on Twitter,
like
a lot of people
even crypto in it as well. Like
it's like a nice little quirky element to the film. Like, not everything has to be serious tone. Not these are comic book movies. They have the strangest characters in the world.
Yeah.
And I
it's
like
probably opening it up to kids to be able to go watch it now. There's no way a kid's going to watch the Snyderverse Justice League. It's brilliant. Well, it's not brilliant. I lied. It's not brilliant, but I could
The
watch it.
4
I don't know why.
hour redeemed
Yeah.
the
Oh,
Justice League redeemed itself.
I paid. I remember I paid for it. And I wasn't upset. Whedon, suck out.
So moving on from Superman, we have, which I think will be
The
it
biggest.
will either be between is the Fantastic Four First Steps.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the biggest.
Oh
film of the
wow!
year.
Here it says original title: The Fantastic Four First Steps. When did that change? Interesting.
It's calling it Fantastic Four. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So
it might be it might depend on what country it's released because I know they change names
that's
sometimes
true.
as well. Yeah,
That is true. But this is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
yeah. I
Fantastic
think
Four.
this could be like the new. This could be the actual Guardians of the Galaxy level.
Yeah.
Energizer to the MCU if it goes well.
You know what? I think Marvel needs something like this because you don't always have to rely on the Avengers.
Yeah,
you need a couple frontline characters or groups of characters that when you're in a down period you can just put out something that contains them and that holds. We don't always have to anticipate an Avenger film. Yeah. And I think this is going to surprise everyone. I think this will be just below the scale of an Avengers type film, just because you've got a Galactus in it. I think Robert Downey is going to feature in it. I think we're going to see his early version of Doctor Doom. So
but do you think they're going to put his version of Doctor Doom? Because I'm assuming this Fantastic Four team is going to be in the separate universe to our current MCU universe. That's what I'm thinking anyway.
My theory, I mean, it's set in the past, and it's set in the 60s or the 70s. So I think this is, So what I think this is either going to be, I've lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Cool. So I think that this film, like you just said, will be set on an alternate universe, which is going to be have the setting of a futuristic 1960s, 1970s. And I think that the Reed family's kids, is it Nathaniel Richards?
Nathaniel, Franklin, and there's the girl.
Is it Franklin? Who's the OP? It's Franklin Richards.
Franklin. Franklin, yeah, he's the one that creates universes as a baby.
Yeah. So I think Galactus sees him as a threat, and he has to take out Earth to kill Franklin. Yeah. And I think what might happen is I think their world is going to be consumed by Galactus. And I think Doctor Doom will see the Fantastic Four as the reason why his world was destroyed. And now he has a vendetta against every single superhero in the universe. I think we're going to see this world where we're going to see an established, because I think in the film, they're going to be established as superheroes. They're not going to, I don't think there's going to be much of an origin. I think we're going to see an alternate Iron Man. I think we're going to see an alternative version of Spider-Man. I think we're going to see other superheroes that we've not seen before. And I think once their world gets consumed by Galactus, I think they're going to use Reed Richards' technology that he knows of jumping to different universes to then come into the 616 universe. And I think that's how we get the Fantastic Four in our universe. But then Doctor Doom follows them, or maybe he's able to transfer his brain, because this was one of the rumors that I read on Twitter, is that there's a storyline where Doctor Doom uses technology to port his consciousness into Iron Man. Richards.
Oh, into Iron Man.
And that's how we get.
I've heard of this. Yes.
And that's how we get Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom.
Now I'm not mad at Downey Jr. being back. If that's the thing, that's the only reason why I won't be mad.
That's what I've read online. It's not facts, but I think that would be an extremely clever way of how they go around navigating the whole Iron Man thing. But it would probably have to be an Iron Man from an alternate universe, because the universe now doesn't have an Iron Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is gonna be one of the films of the year,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think the one thing that this film has to do, it has to propel the story like massively.
Yeah, because it's been aimless right now. That's the biggest
Yeah,
problem. It's been absolutely aimless.
we have to see either like the starting of Battle World construction or Saturn. We have to see something now. We can't continue being drip fed this whole, this this adamantium here is on this island, and now we're going to see it in Captain America, and now the story has to be propelled like 10 steps ahead.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Because, yeah, I think that is another big issue with Marvel over the last few years. It's been
Like you said, it's
literally
aimless, bro.
Yeah. No, there's been no direction. Like every
Yeah.
time you watch the show, you're expecting it to take you at least a bit forward, but nothing.
And again, not everything has to be connected to the MCU.
Yeah.
But then they're not even good projects or good titles.
Yeah.
So
I think it all does come down to Jonathan Majors'
yeah,
case.
that ruined, bro.
They would have way more.
They were going to cook with Jonathan, bro.
I'm telling you, you need to. I'll send you this thing because when they were going to cook, it would have been a cookout, bro. Barbecue.
That was going to be that was going to be a generational time of events with Jonathan Majors as Kang.
Kang Dynasty was going to be something insane, dude. Honestly, insane. Yeah.
All right, we'll get into the last few titles. So we've got Ironheart. I won't lie to you. I'm not. I have no anticipation for this.
I couldn't care less. It's funny. Yeah. The Hood. This is a character that's interested. And I think like an entity in.
Well, he gets his powers from Mephisto, doesn't he?
Yeah, and this Hood thing is introduced in What If season 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
It's interesting because it's very interesting because the Hood, from what I know in general after the research, it's not just one person. It's literally like, imagine Doctor Strange's cloak possesses you.
Okay.
I feel like it's something imbued by Mephisto's powers.
Okay.
That possesses the person that it takes. So after seeing it in What If, that's the only thing that I'm like, okay, this could be quite intriguing because Mephisto again will play into the role that perhaps Doctor Strange plays in Secret Wars as well, especially if they're going to do the 2015 Secret Wars where it's Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange trying to, manage Battleworld or whatever. I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, there's a lot around that.
But look, I like Dominic Thorne. Anthony Ramos, he's a cool guy. I was fortunate
enough to Transformers actually.
I interviewed him in Transformers, and he's a cool guy, man. So
nice.
I will watch it, but I don't have any excitement for this. So
I think with these shows as well, it's probably better to go into it like that because
exactly.
I mean that's why I like Agatha all along. In the end, if I say, "Oh, this is gonna be," I would have been disappointed, but because I didn't, like I'm like, do you know what? Fair play. And I feel, and that's okay for some shows. It can just be a fair play. That's decent.
Then we've got Invincible season 3 that comes out soon, but we've already spoken about Invincible, so we won't harp on about that. But this is due to be another banger. We've got Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, again another show I'm not excited for. The animation style is a strange one.
I think this looks like it's more for kids.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're paying homage to the old school Spider-Man comic books and stuff, but yeah, you're right.
It looks a bit like that game. Do you remember that game? It was 13 on PlayStation 2. It's called 13. It was like basically you're on the run for being accused of the assassination of a president, but it's basically a parallel universe to like John F. Kennedy being assassinated.
Oh, no, I've not played that.
It's on PS2 years ago. But yeah, the animation style is very similar to that, actually.
I mean, one of the cool elements is we've got Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn, who in this universe is going to be his mentor instead of Tony Stark. So that's going to be
interesting.
And I think also Daredevil is going to appear in this as well. Charlie Cox
Nice.
as Daredevil. So again, look, I'm not super excited. The animation style is a little bit weird, but you
Mm.
never know. They could surprise us.
I mean, what's it? Into the Spider Verse. The animation style came out of left field. It was amazing.
Or it was
But
incredible.
this I'm not sure. But who knows? You never know.
Then we've got releasing later this year, Eyes of Wakanda. I don't know anything about this, but this is another
Yeah.
animated miniseries. It's set to dive into like the operation of Wakanda's covert agents.
That should be
So
quite interesting.
we're going to see them, do some missions globally, but we've not seen any animation or anything like that just yet. After that, which I think this series ties into Marvel's What If, Marvel Zombies. So this is going to be a darker, more mature tone of a Marvel animated TV show.
I love Marvel Zombies. The more I can get of them, the better.
And this one's starring Aquafina, David Harbour. You got Simu Liu, Haley Steinfeld, and it looks like they're trying to stop the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, zombies. You give me zombies, you take my money.
I'm a big zombies. Train to Busan is the best zombie film ever made.
100%. And 28 years later, I know this is a Marvel thing. 28 years later is probably going to be up there as one of the biggest films next to Fantastic Four.
Yeah, there will be. But
100%.
I was doing my show last week, and Cillian Murphy's not in the film.
Yeah, well, there's that whole thing about his zombie being in there. Like that.
They confirmed it's not him.
Like him.
They confirmed it's not him.
It looks so much like him.
It does look like him.
It's crazy how much it looks like him, but yeah.
But Empire released an interview with, I think, one of the producers or the director, I think. And so Cillian's not, it's a new planned trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Cillian's not in the first film, but he may turn up in part 2 or part 3.
No.
But we don't know.
After credit scene or something, we'll see. But
and then the last title of the year for Marvel is Wonder Man with Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and he's going to star as Simon Williams, who's a super-powered actor in Hollywood, which is going to be strange because we've never heard his name in the Marvel Universe yet.
Before.
So,
but you know what? If they play into the fact that he didn't want to get involved because he's too self-centered, then maybe there's a way around that.
In Eternals, what's his name is a famous actor in one of the Eternals.
Kingo, yeah.
So his name should have come up in that realm.
Maybe.
But
maybe. That's
true.
So
apparently this comedy will explore the behind the scenes world of Hollywood with a unique twist. We've got Ben Kingsley returning. He was in Shang-Chi, and he was in
Iron Man
3.
Iron Man 3, sorry. No. Trevor Slattery.
Trevor, yeah. So those are the superhero titles to look out for next year. Let us know in the comments what you're looking forward to.
Actually, very quickly, on your Eternals point, I think Fantastic Four would be a great way to reintroduce the Celestials as well. Because
in what way?
Eternals looks like the Eternals, it looks like it's dead in the water. I don't know what's going on with it, but the Celestials, I think, they look so amazing, and I think there's such awesome entities and characters in the comics in general. And with the fact that you're going to have Galactus in this Fantastic Four, I'm talking about further down the line. It'd be a good way to bring them back into the fold because, there's so much lore with them as well. And that leads to like the Living Tribunal and all these super entities and stuff. So, yeah, I really hope they bring them back. And I think Fantastic Four could be the device for that, to be honest. Yeah.
All right, final story for tonight. And this one's going to make you laugh. Let me just put this back up. I don't know why it does that.
The Flash, yeah.
So today, Variety posted that the Flash director, Andy Muschietti, says that the film flopped because it wasn't a movie that appealed to the 4 quadrants. It failed at that. So
since when has a film done that, though?
What was the box office for The Flash? So the film had a budget of 200 to 220 million, and it grossed $271 million worldwide.
Damn.
That is peak.
It's not because of the four quadrants. It's because Ezra Miller was on a mad thing, and it came out that he was on a mad thing, and people
And
were
the
tired of
film
the
wasn't
Snyderverse.
levels. And the film was not levels. It
It
was a
was
fun
so
film.
bad.
It wasn't Madam Web bad.
No, it wasn't.
And it wasn't Morbius bad.
But it was bad.
It was a poor film, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Again, I went into this film with the lowest expectations, and
I was
I
still
liked
disappointed.
that they kept it a little bit quirky, a little bit fun. I like that it kind of felt watching reading a comic book. It was nice seeing Keaton back as Batman. But the whole revisiting Superman and all that nonsense, it was a bit boring. And then that CGI was awful. That CGI, I mean, they brought Christopher Reeves back, didn't they, in the CGI?
Yeah.
That's
when
shameful.
You got into that thing, do you know what they could have done? They could have
That
said,
is
"This
shameful.
is the last movie in the Snyderverse. Let's close up," and be a nice way to introduce the Gunverse.
The only cool thing was Nicolas Cage, because obviously Nicolas Cage did audition for Superman years ago. Yeah. So that was cool to see him. But
I forgot about
that. But it says here that The Flash grows 271 million by the end of its run. It's not a small figure by any means, but considering the budget and the projected marketing costs, the DC blockbuster needed to double that figure to get out of the red. Muschietti said the reason The Flash couldn't recoup costs because... said the reason why The Flash couldn't recoup the cost was because it failed to hit all four quadrants of a moviegoer demographics: men over 25, men under 25, women over 25, women under 25. The Flash failed among all other reasons because it wasn't a movie that appealed to all four quadrants. It failed at that. When you spend 200 million making a movie, Warner Bros. Wants to bring even your grandma to the theaters. Muschietti went on to say behind closed doors, he found people don't care about The Flash as much as other beloved DC icons like Batman and Superman. He noted this is especially true in the women under and over 25 demographic. I found in private conversations that a lot of people just don't care about The Flash as a character, particularly the two female quadrants. All of that is just the wind going against the film, I've learned. Mate.
I think Grant Gustin will have something to say about that, seeing as he had 9 seasons of The Flash.
And that was loved by many. And
everyone.
I know a lot of women that watched the show as well.
Honestly, it's simple. Ezra Miller was a criminal, basically doing some mad shit.
He was doing some craziness.
Crazy things, like, do you know what I mean? He had restraining orders and stuff, and that came out before the film. People were tired of the Snyderverse. You know, do you know what?
Like, and the film wasn't good. It wasn't a good film.
I'm actually growing tired of directors and studios blaming audiences for their movies not being good.
But we've just had a string of bangers. We had Heretic, we had Conclave, we had Nosferatu. What else have we had? We had The Substance.
Been quite well received in some places.
Bro, people will pay to watch stuff if it's good. That's just the bottom line of it. If your
and even the ones that are good doesn't appeal to the four quadrants. That's the reality.
Bro, like, The Substance does not appeal to those quadrants, and that's the men quadrant. But I still enjoyed it.
Exactly.
I agree with you. It's lazy.
It's annoying. Yeah, it's lazy and it's so self-centered. It's a spoiled. It sounds like a spoiled kid complaining, blaming everyone else for him not passing his test. No, just look at it and get better. That's it. No one's gonna hate you for it. If you make go make the next film, make it a banger, and people forget this one. Don't come back 2 or so years later and tell me, nah, it's because it. No, come on, man. Grow up. Stop being a muck.
So with that said, that brings it to our first Sunday Superverse show. That's on a Monday, but it will be back on a Sunday. Bro, appreciate you joining, man. It was a fun show. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, man. I'm way past my bedtime out here, boy, but it was worth it.
we had a great conversation. Loads of people in the chat, so appreciate you joining. Just let the people know where they can find you on social media. I will add that into the description and stuff. So tag yourself, bro.
All right. Well, basically, I don't have an OnlyFans, so chill out, relax. Yeah, but right now I'm on TikTok. On TikTok, the real X man of the people, the real with REEL XMOTP. I'm on TikTok. On Instagram, you can follow at We Are Legacy, which is the overarching thing to the real. And also I'll be doing some other projects with We Are Legacy, some interviews with some awesome people as well. And yeah, my YouTube channel will be launching very soon. I'm currently in production for my big 2024 review and my big 2025 preview as well. So yeah, man, and it's the same name, the real X Man of the People on YouTube, the real X MOTP on TikTok, and We Are Legacy on Instagram. And I'll give you my address and my bank account details if you want to donate to my charity. But we can talk about that privately. But thank you for having me, Lowry. It's been a
No,
pleasure.
appreciate it,
Like those
bro.
days, like those days in Reds, like just chilling, chatting about
I'm
the
telling, bro.
important stuff, mate.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, more to come. More to come.
Yeah, definitely.
I've noticed some stuff that we're going to talk about. And yeah, I know it's getting late for you, bro. So I'm going
Yeah,
to stop the stream, but I will see you soon. Well, I'll chat to you in the group, obviously, but we'll catch
yeah.
you guys soon. Again, thank you very much for everyone for staying tuned with us, commenting, liking, sharing the stuff. We appreciate it, man. It goes a long way. And yeah, until next time, people. Peace.
Peace.